Hello and welcome to the basement where D&D is meant to be played. I'm your host, Dakota King of the Cardboard Castle, and I'm going to be your dungeon master for our first episode of our new show, Paper Stars. I'm afraid that our first episode got eaten.
It did.
By the computer.
Yeah.
We had some intense technical difficulties before session 1, about 3 hours of them.
Is that all it was?
Yeah. And we discovered later that what we had recorded entirely without audio. I'm super mad. It was a great session. So we'll be starting the show off on session 2, which is episode 1. We're going to cross our fingers for better luck moving forward.
That session had everything.
Except
audio. Except audio.
Yeah. Except important.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
It's like,
for
a little bit of important.
This is a podcast that happens to have video.
Yeah.
And we missed the podcast.
Yeah.
bit. I want to thank you all and my wonderful and patient players for sticking with us through these technical difficulties as we continually try to improve the game and make this something that we can really all be proud of. Things like microphone and camera quality are going to take time to improve because those things cost a lot of money. We don't have that, but we're learning all the time how to improve the set and everything that we have so we can do the most with what we have. If you'd like to follow us for news and schedule updates, you can find us at The Trash Castle on Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube so you never miss an episode, because despite our technical difficulties, I think we've got a good thing going. So, last time on the Lost first episode, that's a thing, right? Is a lost episode. We have a lost episode, guys.
Oh my god, that's how you know it's art.
Production. Last time, the Lost first episode titled Tourists and Tantrum Holes.
Yep.
Our lovable lunatics set off on an adventure that they all hoped would settle uneventfully into the past. For one reason or another, each of them has found a place on a caravan, treading through the dangerous mountain pass between 2 major cities on the continent of Yabul on the planet of Vilmar. They've been traveling with some rather colorful characters, all trying to survive the treacherous Rift-Stitch Mountains. They've endured one night of camping and a midnight encounter with some diabolically creepy little would-be kidnappers, and have finally reached the first town along the path, Lumia. The rain that has plagued you all day has begun to lighten up, just as the sun is beginning to set. As it does, unknown to all of you, another soul enters the town. Yeren, the god of travelers, messengers, and vagabonds, shuns the ancestral homes of the gods. They do not revile them, it's just not in their nature to stay in one realm for very long. It is said that in the lazy hours of one's day, the moments you don't quite remember when your mind wanders and your hands slacken from your chosen task, you offer up your experience to the Wanderer's God. For those glimmering, forgotten moments, they find beauty in your boredom. They feel wonder in what you find familiar. It is said also that they will give those memories back, should you need them, should you ask very nicely. It is in this way that Yeren blinks into the borrowed memories of an elven man with a lute strung over his shoulder and a sad song nestled into his mellow heart. Yeren sees through his eyes as he leads a horse and cart to a stable and pays another lad to board her for the night. They gaze over the sleepy little town of Lumia and are nearly overwhelmed by the young man's woe. Ah, that's enough of that, they whisper in his borrowed voice, and quiet his weary heart. They cannot help him forever, but they can lift his spirits for the moment. They plant in his heart a little sourceless wonder at Lumia's many lanterns, a romanticism for the fresh sprinkling of rain, and a hope that the feeling accompanies them for quite some time. It is to that wonder and romanticism that Jatima shakes himself to attention, never the wiser for Yeren's blessing. He joins his sister and the rest of the caravan as you settle in for a more comfortable evening than the last. You're all exhausted. In a mechanical sense, I should say. You've arrived in Lumia, a little town nestled into the base of one of the mountains of the Black Hollow Pass, and many are settling down for the evening, but a few buildings still have their lights on. There's the Cliffside Inn and Tavern, which there's a long road down the center of the town, and then sort of a cul-de-sac, a large circle that extends off to the side of that road. And in the center of that sort of bubble is this large three-story building, which is an inn that you two knew more than Hayes. You two are familiar with the Cliffside Inn and Tavern, which is ostensibly your destination. There's also of places that are still open at this point in the evening. The Silver Quill Apothecary. It seems like the proprietor of that, a young elven woman, is just heading out the front of her shop to sweep up her porch and refresh her lantern. It seems like she is going to stay open until late in the evening, as is her way.
Okay.
She's a doctor. You kind of need to be able to see her at odd hours. She always leaves her lantern lit. And you can see in that little kind of cul-de-sac in front of the inn, there are a couple of buildings that you actually recognize the shape thereof. There's a building that has just 3 walls and a roof that's sort of like a large lean-to that has several large looms set up. And it seems like the weavers are heading out for the evening to set up a bonfire in the stone ring in the center of that little cul-de-sac. And several of them have set up large spindles, just large, like a dowel with a with a wooden disc, where they're spinning yarn for their weaves. And it seems like they're setting up for some kind of gathering related to that. They're not quite sure. This is often a way that storytellers, weavers will get together and
weave their tall tales.
Sort of, not tall tales.
Yeah.
This is how the history of Vomar is passed from one generation to another.
Yeah.
You have a master weaver that has memorized these tales and will deliver them to apprentice weavers, and that is how the stories are told. That is how the history is told. And given the long lifespans of most of the races of Vomar, the accuracy of these stories is impeccable because they're cross-referenced from generation to generation to generation, which is something that a lot of the galaxy has not really caught on to. It's kind of assumed that, it's an oral history, so obviously it's not.
Can't be trusted.
It can't be trusted, even though it's probably more trusted than something that can later be changed.
And all the fake news on the net.
Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little too real.
I know.
A little too real.
Fantasy world.
But
Fantasy world.
Yeah.
it's not real, Cody. It's
Yeah.
not real.
Hey, there's a cul-de-sac. We can't escape reality right now, okay?
We are
It was the word that was in my head, okay? Jesus.
We are the fake news.
We are the fake news, that's true.
Wow,
That's way too much. Yeah, I know.
That's painful.
Yeah.
Would that be you could have a group name, Fake News. I'm kidding.
No.
We have not developed.
Yeah.
So, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm done.
Yeah, we're calling it quits here.
With that.
But-
Success.
Call it quits while we're not ahead.
You're rolling into town. There's a couple of places that you can store carts for the evening. There's a couple of, guarded areas. It's almost like this is a training post and they're set up for people to do that. But
right. There's stables over there for everyone to set up their equipment and make sure you go into town, tip generously. People here are good folk. So have a good night. As Cam,
you head into the tavern.
I'm gonna head into the town. Just basically point everyone in the directions where they should probably be going.
Okay.
Is there a gift shop that's still open?
The trading post.
Roll a perception check.
He's gonna be so broke.
Why are you
69.
I said a perception check.
No,
Yeah.
why did my brain
Yeah.
go percentage?
Why did you roll perception?
Well, I mean, I'm happy that it was.
I mean, that was a blessed roll, but I don't think I can reward
like
you for
that.
that.
4.
4.
No, there is not a gift shop open late in the evening
Actually?
in a fantasy town.
It is 8, if that makes a difference.
No.
It does not.
Fortunate.
Yep.
Hi.
Quick pause, so that way we can just do a quick cut. 'cause
I'm
guys
not
are-
going to cut it.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we got people in the background now.
I'm sorry.
Okay. If you're okay with that, I just gotta make sure.
I'm not going to put in that kind of effort. Are you kidding me?
Hey, we're
I
gonna
probably
give you the
will.
opportunity.
No, you're just going to say it's going to cut from just so we can do a quick cut and then
Yeah.
it's going to be jarring and everyone's going to hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're professional.
That's right. We know what we're doing. We're a well-oiled machine.
I literally
cuts
just
left and right.
informed the audience
Mhm.
that we have a lost first episode because
Yeah.
we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, too much oil.
Whale oil. Whale oil.
Yeah.
It was the wrong type of oil.
It
That's
is.
why we
Whale
lost
oil
it.
is-
It was-
Also, it's whale oil. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You're a monster.
Whale oil.
Yeah.
You said whale oil machine.
Well, hail.
That was not what I said, but
I
okay.
know. I know. I chose to believe that it was.
Yeah.
We were on rails.
That's
Anyways.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yes.
So, no gift shop
I'm very.
At-
Hayes is very sad.
Bless you.
at
Cammy was
9 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did-
there is no gift shop.
Yeah, it's
It's not that kind of town.
it's not that kind of town, honey.
I was hoping for something good.
Really? So all this is what you consider good?
You don't.
She's just gonna keep walking towards the tavern.
Great, fantastic. So you pass the stables. You see there's a tabaxi gentleman with black fur and green
Mhm.
eyes. His name is Thomas.
Mhm.
You've met Thomas. He's kind of a goofy kid,
Mhm.
but he's busy getting everyone settled with a place for their carts for the evening.
Mhm. Yeah. If I get a chance to, I'll go up to Thomas and be like, "Evening, Thomas."
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Oh.
And he's like setting up some of the tack and just
Yeah.
making sure things. He never stops moving. Thomas doesn't stop moving.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna run a hole through the floor the way you're moving right now.
Always.
Yeah. Hey. And she will hand Thomas like 5 silver pieces and be like, just if you see anything weird or out of the ordinary, as always, let me know.
I gotcha. And he'll pocket it, and
Yeah.
he's very fidgety.
Yeah.
But that's just him.
Yeah,
as
that's
a
his
person.
nature.
But
And then I will proceed towards the tavern.
it also helps because he hasn't gotten any tips from any of the Galactics.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you head inside. Anyone else doing anything weird, or are you all going inside?
I'm gonna help people put away their stuff.
Okay. Just be muscle.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would be
It's
assisting Thromus in assisting the traveling folk.
Can you say the name again?
The traveling folk?
No, the
Thromus?
Okay, I thought you said Thromulus, and I'm like,
No?
Yes, he is very
That's
formless.
Ooh.
okay, okay.
I would like to, if I can, sit in with this this bonfire,
Okay.
or at least not necessarily like join in the middle of the group, but like sit on the periphery.
Yeah, there's
Um,
there's the spinners that have kind of like a arc of seats, and then there's people setting up around the bonfire to listen to them. So you can probably set up with them.
I would like to do that. I'm gonna start recording the audio
Okay.
and do other things in the meantime. Basically, I'm just recording the stories for later.
Okay. What
But
languages do you speak?
not anything here.
I just want to know.
Mayshar and Galactic.
Just
That's
the
it.
two?
Yeah, just
Great.
the two.
Obviously, you don't know what language they're
Yeah.
speaking as they're chatting and setting up.
I'll get it translated.
They haven't started to actually spin yet. They're kind of setting up, like, some of them have little baskets of wool. One of them has some carding paddles, which I don't know if any of you know what those are, but they're these paddles that have these little steel wires, steel like combs that they're making the wool all go the same direction basically, and they're carding it for others to spin. And there's very slowly, as they start to card the wool, there's kind of a rhythm starting, and there's almost, it's not quite a song, but
Perfect timing.
it's this
Great.
rhythmic storytelling that is happening. It's very interesting to listen to, even if you don't understand a word that's being said.
Right. And that's mostly why he's also doing other stuff, because he
gonna
doesn't
record
actually
it
understand,
and-
get it translated later.
Yeah.
Is the goal. But in the meantime, while they're doing their whole thing and I'm recording that, I'm just going to look over and actually like try and understand the sensor results from those creepy things that jumped us. All of the scanner stuff that I got from that, I'm gonna
So,
pour over and try and understand.
for the sake of the audience, I'm going to have you describe the creepy things that jump to you.
if I remember the actual
Because it's
like
been like a month since
physical-
we
Just a
recorded,
month.
but
the physical description, I remember they had they had like pincery things, right?
Mhm.
Clamps.
That had some sort of venom that dripped off and evaporated.
Yeah.
And they were like these dark creatures that teleported, that moved through the shadows, like became shadow,
Mhm.
and teleported. So he's extremely interested as to what the hell
Yeah.
those things are.
They were sort of insectoid little creatures, crustacean-like little creatures. That, of course, had the pincers that you're talking about and had sort of a venom on them.
That paralyzed people.
Did you got some, obviously you got some recording of that.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard because there was a lot of movement and so you weren't
I'm
able
not-
to get a lot
yeah.
of detail, but you do catch like, in the pincers themselves, there are like little, almost like needle-like sort of fangs on the ends of the pincers, like a row of 5 of them on each end that would then inject the venom. They seem to, when you were watching them in person, they seem to like shift, and there was something amorphous about their the physicality, sort of, or the way you perceived them. When going back through the recording, you would expect that to be different. You would expect there to be more solid, like I can
Right.
pause this frame, it's not going to keep moving. You pause the frame, and it keeps
It still
moving and changing, and as you
That.
as you perceive a certain part of it, like, okay, the head is this shape, you go to like catalog a different part of it, and you can't quite remember what the head shape was, and you go back and look at it, and it's different, and it's weird. Something is messing with your perception of them. Not necessarily with the file itself, but with your perception of the file.
Right.
So,
I'm also looking over the molecular scans I took to try and because I got the molecular and the DNA scanner before someone eliminated my subject out from under me.
so you check out the DNA scan first because that's going to have the
Right.
most straightforward of data. I'm sure there's some scientist who is screaming at me through the screen. You check out the DNA sample first, and the sample itself, right? Because you had like a physical sample that was then,
Right.
being
Analyzed.
by a computer program. The analysis is not complete because the sample has vanished.
Right.
Along with, of course, the creatures that you killed vanished. They disintegrated as you killed them. It's incomprehensible in the most fascinating way possible, right? It's the same thing with the image file, right?
Right.
Like you look through all of, everything that you can discern about the DNA. There's not really much you can discern about the DNA. It's more something you would cross-reference something to the DNA to get a specific answer. But the details shift in your mind as you go, again. So you go to check the molecular scan, it's the same deal. And as you go to cross-reference them, you think, oh, here's this bit of data in the molecular scan. The most terrifying thing about this would be if I could correlate this to whatever in the DNA scan,
Right.
and then that becomes true. And as you're kind of going through, your worst fear about each set of data becomes fact as you check it. But you know that
I remember it was different.
you remember it was different before, so it seems to be changing to correlate to your worst fear. And they're little
That
fears
is-
because it's just data.
Yeah.
It's, this would fucking suck.
That's-
That's true.
That's infuriating and incredibly exciting at the same time.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
Was I able? I don't know if I specified in the moment, but was I able to get any data on the venom that paralyzed people? Interesting.
But as you're setting up and going through all of that data, it doesn't take too long for you guys to get everything settled because most of the stuff is just being left in the carts, and the carts are being pulled to the back of the stable and, guarded. But people grab what they need, and you all head inside the tavern. It's fairly lively. This seems to be... Most people don't go out to eat in a place like this, but if you were to do so, this would be the place to go. You've got quite a few townsfolk, mostly elven and halfling, and a large dwarf population as well. But very few humans, if any, as seems to be sort of the MO of Vomar. But you can see as you walk in, Robert, another Tabaxi man, gray fur, blue eyes. He's the owner. He's behind the bar, fairly energetic, kind of bouncing around, getting people what they need. You see Elaine, through the back door. She's a dwarf woman. You've met her. She's blonde. She's super cute. Mute, but especially funny if you understand Vomar inside.
Which I do.
Yeah. Few people take the time to learn. Few galactics take the time to learn, so she's okay being the rare humor. Making fun of people behind their back to the few people who understand. But, and then there is also Ruby, who who's a tiefling woman.
Yep.
With kind of silvery skin. She's wearing kind of flowy teals and blues, and she's one of the servers, and she's going around and filling people's drinks. As you wander in, she'll look up and wink at you and go back to doing what she's doing.
Yeah, I give her a nod and meander my way towards the bar.
Towards Robert?
Yeah, unless she's also heading towards the bar, but I think she'll probably just head for her drink immediately.
She does, she's doing her rounds, but she is doing her rounds in the direction of you. So.
Okay. Here we go.
Hi, honey.
Hi, Ruby. How are you, love?
And she'll just, tuck her arm into yours.
She'll accept it. And how have things been tonight? Seems like it's a little bit more lively than usual.
A little busy.
Yeah.
So, I see you got some new friends this week.
Yes, we certainly do, don't we?
How are they, how do they shape up?
They're,
she, lowers her voice.
Cammy would lower her voice too and say, so far in the up and up, but I'm having Thomas take a peek just to make sure everything's right as rain.
Do you want me to have Richard give him, the group discount, or do you want to squeeze him for a little more money? Just kind of
Let's be selective about it. There's obviously, we have a couple that are from ODM. What was her name?
Amber.
Yeah, Ember and her lovely wife.
They came through here a couple of months ago.
Yeah, they're making the final move out to Fort Pine.
Why are they leaving O'Dear? I'll ask them.
Yeah, they have their reasons. I think money's a little tight out there, and ODF is, while it's still okay, it's a dying town. Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Obviously, the Songbird Circle are more than welcome to the discount. There's a particular Mayshar. Go ahead and make sure that he gets a nice squeeze if he decides to come in here.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of has to unless he wants to sleep on the street.
Yeah, that's that I know.
Fair.
Yeah, obviously I have Hayes with me, Hayes is fine.
Yeah, he's a cutie. She'll...
Yeah, I won't ever let him know about it, though. He'll go right to his ego.
Well. But how are you doing?
I've had a day. I could definitely use a drink.
Could you now?
Yes.
This one's on the house, and she'll pat your arm.
Bless you. As she'll just kind of go up to the bar. Yeah, the Mayshar in particular was a interesting fellow.
She kind of wanders around to the back.
Mhm.
You two have come in at this point, I'm guessing?
It depends on how long it would take to.
Not very long.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm basically asking if you two headed directly after helping put stuff away or if you do something else.
I think Thrymus will probably spend a few moments outside, probably just looking at the stars,
Okay.
trying to find some of the darker spots.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
What
We'll
does
get to
that mean?
We'll get to that.
As you kind of pause on the outside, Hayes will just kind of be like, "What are you looking for out here?"
Honestly, I'm just looking. Every planet has its own writing,
Right.
and he'll just point up to the stars.
Fair. They all have their own varieties as you look into the sky. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can no longer read them. And then he'll walk inside.
God, that makes me sad.
Just like
Woody.
sad side, just kind of like walks in.
But you two walk in and you do see Lady Fearless, as she
Mhm.
introduced herself
Yes.
to the caravan as a whole. She is at the bar talking to a tiefling woman with that silvery skin and, you know, wearing all the blues and very flirty.
Mhm.
But she'll pour you a drink and just kind of like
Mhm.
just eagerly listen to everything you have to say.
Yeah.
But
And they had the nerve to say that I was fucking up this caravan. Can you believe it?
oh, honey. Well,
Yeah.
if they manage to get a room, we're a little full up
Yeah,
this
that
evening.
does happen sometimes, doesn't it?
Oh, what a shame.
Mm.
Do we hear this as we're
Are
walking
you
in?
approaching?
I would probably check in with. Well, it's probably more just like hungry.
Love, you kind of just stopped in the middle of the walkway. What do you want here?
Processing. Loading. Please wait.
Yeah.
Honey, you alright? You seem a little distant
I'm
over there.
I apologize. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, sweetie.
That's wonderful. That's good.
You need a drink?
Just
Some food? You look hungry.
Yeah.
Looking a little peckish.
It's been a long evening.
I got you. Elaine! And she'll, head into the kitchen and she'll come out with,
Mm.
they have on the menu this evening fresh elk stew, which, it's not often that they actually get, because it's peasant fare, it's usually
Yeah.
vegetable soups and barley and etc.
Mm.
It's not often that they get fresh game, but
Mm.
they've got an elk stew, meat hand pies,
Oh, that's a delicacy.
delicious fare. It's delightful.
That sounds excellent.
But she'll bring you out some food.
Sounds like the
and a
hunters had
drink.
some good luck, didn't they?
Oh, a little.
Ah, that's good to hear.
We had a little bit of a trade with some of the tribes up in the mountains,
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's the town been doing? Is it?
Oh, we're hanging in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard, Mia Silverquill Apothecary. She's finally kind of getting back up on her feet. She got this big donation from somebody. All sorts of galactic medical equipment, and textbooks, and you know how we all feel about galactic, but the medicine's nice.
Hey, medicine's medicine, like.
And she's finally making a little bit of coins.
Oh.
Kind of nice to see.
Yeah. I think I saw some herbs in there that I was supposed to deliver a while ago that I forgot.
Oh,
Yeah.
she'd love to see you.
Yeah, I'll go by. I have a question for her anyways. So.
Probably open late tonight anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what the DeWeavers have on tail tonight?
Oh, they're I want to say they're on the section of, because they go through the little cycle with the new apprentices.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say they're on the creation of the dragons.
Ooh.
Which is always a fun one.
That's-
especially the way they tell it.
Oh, that's foreshadowing and ironic, considering we saw That one dragon that seems to always be floating by.
She's been flying around. I think that's why they're on that section. I think
Oh,
that's why
no.
they start. Well, so Taigi, and she starts launching into the
Yeah.
story of Taigi, one of the elders, a halfling woman. She's teaching this new crop of apprentices how to weave their cultural history. She's doing a new story blanket, specifically the Trials of Urine, which is, we'll get to that in a second, but you can see all the tapestries from where you've set up. She's weaving a new story blanket, and she's setting up kind of a spinning circle for the evening, as she does every other evening, about how Rajila, that's how I wrote that, Rajila, the goddess of the wilds, formed the dragons out of their separate elements. But Tawa, who is her nephew, halfling boy, he's weaving the Trials of Urine as well. Toski, a halfling girl, her daughter, is weaving the Mother's Sacrifice, which is a tale of the pantheon. And Sinopa, who is an elven girl who's from one of the clans that kind of roams around where Vanalan used to be. She's weaving the Dragon's Lament, and so they're kind of focusing on the Dragon's Lament currently, which is the tale of how the dragons came to be and their decline and their resurgence.
Okay.
So they're specifically going over how the dragons were formed because she's just starting the bottom of her weave. So, but she'll kind of jump into that of what they've been up to lately. And it hasn't been very long since you were back. It's only been a couple of days because you came down and have come back up, but she likes catching up with you.
I know she does.
And all this is in common and not galactic.
Yeah, this is in Vomaran.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't understand a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Crap. Yeah.
Well, if you show up and show an interest, she will switch to Galactic. But
That's the thing. I don't even know how to show interest.
well, if you show up and seem like you're trying to listen in, like you've come up to talk to Cammy, maybe fearless.
I would have approached the bar just to wait as the food's coming in, and I would have kind of like tapped the seat next to me.
Actually, yeah, if you're there, she would be having this conversation.
I probably would translate like the first bit that we were talking about.
And then, rad.
Ah.
And I forget that, y'all.
You're good, you're good.
You're so sweet.
This is Thrumless. Just trying to make sure. Okay.
Oh, you're big. Oh, hi.
Yeah, they're very tall.
I only stand at 7'10".
Yeah. Yeah, I love you. How's the weather up there right now? Are you okay?
The left.
I hope so.
What?
Yeah.
I hate to ask. Are you
I checked.
okay?
It's
Fingernail right into the eye.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was my.
Oh my god.
You know me, I'm not squeamish, but that fucked with me just a little bit.
They're fine.
Do you need a drink?
Sure.
All right.
Probably something taller.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Between the two of you for drinks and food it's about $1 a piece.
Okay.
Hayes actually wouldn't have drank any alcohol, he just would have asked for a bit of water.
All right.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah,
about silver.
So Thermos will show interest in the formation of the dragons.
Well, if you want to listen to them, they're probably not going to really get into the story for a bit, so you can probably go eat and then go if you want to go sit by the bonfire and listen.
I can translate
It's-
for you.
Yeah,
That
they
would be appreciated.
do the storytelling in Elvish, so if you don't know Elvish, it's a little difficult. But it's a good tale. Anyway, I gotta get back to my other patrons, but you come see me if you want to. You know how it is. She'll kind of like run her fingers across her shoulders as she walks away.
Yeah.
But
She'll nod her head and.
she's used to that rejection, but she never shows it.
I know.
Yeah.
With a big old grin on his face, he just kind of like
Yeah.
nudges me.
Trying to not mix business with pleasure too much.
Also, you can tell like she flirts with everybody.
Yeah.
That's
So, not quite as hard as she flirts with Kenny,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
she
I'm
flirts
special.
with everybody. But
So I have to ask,
Yes.
if you don't mind me prying just a scotch, where'd you serve?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. Don't act like it.
No, I act like it.
I'm gonna can I do insight to see if I believe
Roll
them.
an insight check.
Yeah.
Roll the appropriate counter check.
What to say that I'm acting?
Yeah.
That's a 6.
Oh.
6, you say.
Oh. What's your total?
That is a 12.
Yeah. No. I was like, maybe I have a chance. 8 total for me. So
How many total?
8 total.
Oh, honey.
I rolled a 2.
Oh, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, honey.
I've not been rolling well. I'm sorry, you putting the fingernail into your eye that still is messing with me.
It does do a lot.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why I do it.
Yeah. No, it's very off-putting. It puts you in a position of power. I respect that. I guess question number 2 is, how did that happen?
It was in my first life.
Your first life.
Yes.
You get more than one.
I get 3.
That's
I was about to ask if you were a cat.
yeah.
Roll me a science check.
Sure. I'm gonna laugh. I rolled better on that. Yeah, not really.
A little bit.
Total of 12.
Well, you don't know shit about the Bravash. It's in your head. They've always been, oh, that's just Dragonborn, but not from here.
Yeah.
There are specific differences
Mhm.
that you're not familiar with. So you don't know what the fuck
Yeah.
they're talking about, but
I thought it was common knowledge.
As you can see, I'm from a planet that doesn't have a lot of common knowledge in regards to the same things that you all are used to.
True.
You have to forgive me, because when I first met Ubravash, we have similar folk here that go by Dragonborn, so I just assumed that they were you all, but amongst the stars.
Well, I don't know many Dragonborns, so I cannot tell you the difference.
Yeah, they're still plenty big, but not as big as you. You're that's an anomaly to us here on Vomar.
No. When you spend a lot of your time in lower gravities, you tend to become taller.
That makes a lot of sense. I can see that now.
Did you come from a place that had really tall trees?
I come from a place that was destroyed.
No.
So no trees. Sorry, love.
That doesn't.
So done with our shit. She opens up a little mouth visor to get another sip in.
honey, I forget you got the fucking mask.
She's got the fucking mask on right now, so I mean, when she was talking to Ruby, she would have had the visor back, so she would be able to see her smiling or whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but so
Has Ruby ever seen you without the mask and everything, or because you don't always come through with caravans?
no, she's probably seen me without the mask.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nobody cared who I was before I put the mask on.
Spike.
Yeah.
Mr.
No, she's probably gone through here a few times when she's just foraging or whatnot.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So, first life, you get these blood for eyes instead. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool. I'm glad it's just a normal thing to talk about. Yeah.
I have nothing to fear.
No, that's completely fine. It's just I just find it to be a strange concept for the rest of us, but is
I
that?
want to give you more information, but that science check was so garbage.
Yeah, I know. But so, how did you get that?
That is a story I don't have the answer to.
Right then. Well, perhaps someday we'll figure out the answer to it if you stick around long enough.
I am looking for those answers.
Yeah. Why are you here on Vomar? Out of curiosity, I understand the weird little Meshar with the red boots, but
Well, I've come to a point in my life where I needed to step away from everything and explore.
This is a great fucking planet for that. I will tell you that much.
I just realized, where did Teru go?
I did not keep tabs on them, so I could not tell you for sure.
On that note, smash cut 2.
Yeah, Cammy inside of her mask is just like, oh no.
You've set up, you're, at the bonfire, sort of near where the storytellers are.
Leaning back against Volks.
Now, the way they're
Might be.
spinning, they've got, this long dowel rod, which is about, safe from about here to the ground, and then a large metal disc, or wooden disc. That's the second time I've done that. And then it's wound with wool. And there's a working strand that goes from that to just carded wool that is being spun into yarn, and they're pulling it against the outside of the leg, and that's how they're spinning it, and it's got kind of a rhythm to it, and there's almost a sound to it as they're carding the wool, and it gets this kind of rhythm going. And you have no idea what they're saying.
Yep.
But there's this kind of call and response of obviously the elder among them, because you have an elder halfling woman who is in the middle, and then you have a halfling girl on one side and a halfling boy on the other side, and then an elven woman a little further. And she is telling a story with this sort of rhythm to it. And then the three of them will, at different intervals, come in with this verse. And it just seems to break up the story into little memorizable chunks, right? And if you knew what they were saying, it would seem like this just beautiful way to pass a story down from one to the other in almost a song, but not quite. None of you are there, so you cannot translate as of yet.
Yeah. I was probably gonna take them all outside after a little bit, but you go first.
They'll get a little bit into the story before you guys get out.
Mhm.
I'll say, unless you're doing anything specific. I'm sure this is while you're going over the details.
Yeah, I'm just
This is
why
while you're going over your data.
Every once in a while, I get caught up in it, and I just kind of recording as well,
Of course. But
and then go back to look at my data.
probably about the time you come to the conclusion of the data changing itself is about when they step out. You step out, they're partway through this story, and this is a story you've heard before,
Mm-hmm.
about how Rajila, the goddess of the wilds, she saw that the elements were too volatile in the way that they interacted with the material plane. They each had their own planes wherein they were in balance because everything was balanced to that element. When they came to interact with the material plane, the mother, who is the above the chief goddess, she's the god she's the dead god of Vomar. She is the remembered god of Vomar.
Okay.
She used to keep the elements in check, and when she lost her life in this climactic battle, which is that's a whole other story.
I'm sure it is.
That's the story that Toski is weaving, actually, the mother's sacrifice. But she was no longer there to keep the balance, and so Rajila, the goddess of the wilds, decided she was going to channel all of these elements, and it's not your classic fire, water, earth, air elements necessarily, but elements of lightning, elements of gold, elements of all these different, even elements of honor and elements of stars, these esoteric ideas, and channeled them into a creation that was made of them and would channel them into the world. And that is where the dragons came from. And that is why dragons come in different colors and different temperaments, is they are embodiments of the elements in the way that elementals are not. Elementals are made of that element. They come from another plane. Dragons are of this plane and channel that plane into this one.
Okay.
So there is a difference. But she is going through this tale, and the call and responses, she will talk about some of the trials of creating the dragons and how one by one they sort of fell to different evils as they had to before they could start to balance each other out. And there's this kind of stacking, this dragon helps this dragon with this and whatnot, different colors and different temperaments.
Partway through the story, I will virtually cast Comprehend Language.
Okay.
Ooh, it's a pricey spell.
Yeah, I'll bet.
7 hit points down.
Oof.
Ouchie!
Yeah.
But the call and response is after every kind of chunk of story, they just repeat the main elements all together as one with us.
Yeah.
And that is the response of element all together as one
Yeah.
with us.
She would probably towards the end, once everyone kind of knows what it's saying, she would kind of just very quietly mumble along with
Yeah,
it.
and at first it's only the storytellers that are doing the response, but then as the Volmaran townsfolk start to catch on, they will also do the response with them. But
How long does the story last?
from the time you guys got it's about an hour total, but by the time you guys got out there, it was about half an hour.
I just need to know how hurt up and
How much is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys hear about half an hour of it.
Okay.
But it's a lovely tale, and it's one you're familiar with. This storyteller is very talented. She while oftentimes the verses are the same, word for word the same, the delivery changes from storyteller to storyteller. This is not a weaving. This is a spinning story. Some stories are made to be told while you're spinning. Some are made to be told while you're weaving. Some can be told at any point. But this is a spinning story because it's got that rhythm. It's got that that you would do while you're spinning wool. But
came up by tap on the ground and rhythm with it, just a little bit.
Good.
Yeah.
But
She's definitely one of the best in terms of her craft.
and the story kind of comes to a close, and there's just a little bit of a lull where they're still spinning, and then the storytellers will just start to talk amongst themselves, and that it concludes the story circle for the night. But then it just kind of becomes everyone gathering around the campfire. But
when it begins to devolve into just not mingling, Taruk came to that realization about the data about halfway through the story, but still has enough respect for culture and the artistry of what's going on not to interrupt it. But as soon as it devolves, he's gonna run over to them.
Oh,
so I'm
there he
assuming
is.
with the 20 passive perception, I noticed the 7'10" Ravage walk over.
Yeah.
I think I noticed that.
Yeah.
Oh, you run over to them, not run over to the storytellers.
No, to them.
Okay.
To them.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the storyteller.
Yeah.
No. So, I did some analyzing of what I was able to acquire of those things that attacked us the other day. It is very weird.
Yeah, from the Feywild. That's pretty weird.
The data continues to shift as you look at it. It does not conform to a set. Do you understand what this means? Because I don't. It is not set in stone. Its existence seems to change as to how I try to perceive it.
Well,
This roughly makes a bit of
I will attempt to make sense of what they're saying.
I'll pull up the data and I'll be like,
Are you trying to make sense of what he's saying, or
What
what
he
the
said.
data says?
What are you saying?
Only wisdom check.
Okay, that's much better than. Ooh, it's a natural 19.
wow.
My wisdom, it's +4, so 23.
You understand that he has no idea what he's talking about necessarily. Like he does,
its nature is
but there's nothing
flux.
to understand necessarily.
Got it.
I've never seen anything that has exhibited this sort of existence before. It seems to change based on your perception of it.
Are you checking out the data?
I will
Roll
show
a
you the
science
data.
I'll say, well,
It's an 11.
11 total.
Yeah, I rolled a 12.
Great.
that.
And I would like you to roll an Arcana check.
Sure. All right, I'm gonna pick a different die because
That one doesn't like you today.
not as much. Oh, it was almost a natural 20.
Oh no.
Arcana check.
Nope.
Is that single digits that I see over there?
It is, in fact, a single digit.
Oh,
Always,
no.
just assume it's
Just-
single digits.
Yeah, it's an 11 total.
11 and 11.
Yeah, I was gonna go see if I could get some more information about these things.
Do we get, because they matched, do they get like a matching pair bonus here?
Because,
They are matchingly bad.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't suppose him talking about it jogs my memory about something, and I get advantage.
Or just chalk it up to weird.
Go get me a candy and you get advantage.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes.
And to justify it in game,
I've had too many of the cookies.
Okay. So.
just bring the tray over
Okay.
and those, and Dakota can pick.
Thank you. I've had too
Just
many
put it
cookies
right.
already.
Just
Yeah,
put it
that's
there.
We have to fight the cookies later.
Ask for this one.
Oh, is Ben gonna actually have one?
I already have two.
Oh, I
Put
see.
it like right on the
Because
crook
we
of
had
the
that whole
table.
thing about you not
Yeah.
eating.
On the crook
Like
of the
small
table
thing.
right there.
Yep.
But yes,
Um,
now you get
On the
advantage.
criminal.
So to justify it in game, I'm also going to specifically mention
So advantage.
everything that I worried about correlating, everything that I was concerned about matching up seemed to suddenly match up.
Advantage.
Because
Was it worse?
It was worse. Yeah. She's just drawing a blank on it.
You don't
I
know
think
what
you're
this
just still
is?
fuming about me. You're just like,
Yeah.
I'm not listening to most of what you say.
Yeah.
You would process, but you also really don't like each other.
Yeah.
I have no issues.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
I really want to give you this, but
I know.
can't.
I want to have it.
Do better.
I'm trying.
Do better.
I suppose.
Roll
You
better
need to
next
send
time.
your dice for that training regiment.
Yeah, I guess.
I suppose we at least killed
Train
before
for
it
that
transformed to something more weird.
I don't
Look.
think there is still a limitation as to what
I
they're
will
able to
say-
change.
Both of you are able to discern that these creatures are at least magical enough that it's going to mess with data regardless.
Yeah.
Any creature that's spawned directly out of magic, and not like a magical
Mutation.
biological creature,
Yeah. You said they were fey in nature, correct?
sort of,
Sort of. Okay.
in a way.
Okay.
It's hard to tell.
But maybe
But-
spawned from like some kind of fey magic potentially.
Potentially.
Okay.
They, because they are creatures of magic, a lot of this data is going to be weird. There are ways that you can look at how digital data will change in relation to
Yeah.
magical creatures that will give you answers. There are ways that like it doesn't just glitch out automatically. Like there are ways that it changes given certain rules.
Mm.
You don't know what those rules are. You don't fucking know. You're a Luddite.
Mm.
So you just know that it's fucking
She,
weird.
yeah, her hearing him constantly spewing out about science stuff, she'll eventually just say, "Look, I'm going to go do some more research into them because they're not from this area. But what I do know is things that are from the Feywild or of Fey construction do have kind of more of an ephemeral attribute to them, if that makes any sense.
Do I know what Fae, what he's talking about with the Fae, or what she's talking about with the Fae stuff?
Roll. Oh, what do I have you roll for this? I want to say Arcana. I don't want to say Arcana. I know it's the best roll, but I don't want you to roll Arcana for some reason. Roll Arcana.
Garbage.
Yep.
What kind of garbage?
8.
8 garbage.
You once met a person named Faye?
Not ringing a bell?
No.
Yeah. There are tales in our world of various.
How close are you guys to the storytellers as you're saying this? As you're talking about this?
It's wherever they had posted.
Yeah,
it for the story.
I mean, I would say that we probably weren't like super far away from them. Like maybe, like, is it like a
20,
tent that
30
they're
feet.
underneath and like?
It's a
Open
like a
cul-de-sac.
town square bonfire.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Imagine we're
20, 30 feet.
Okay, yeah, I would say
Okay.
probably within that
Okay,
range. So maybe
continue.
they might be able to here.
I don't imagine we're necessarily trying to be very quiet or secretive.
No, we're-
or
Yeah.
And
Oh,
also
I'm
she's-
definitely not.
Yeah, she's also annoyed at him, but is still like
I was
trying
just,
to.
if you were like right next to them, I would say they would probably chime in, but you're far enough away that
Yeah,
they're not listening into your
The-
conversation. That's rude.
there are other planes of existence similar to the world that we live on, where there are, how to describe it? There are places where there are creatures that are constantly changing because they are nature itself. They are life itself. They are gregarious and they are evil at times, and there are well, words. They are also. They are all portions of life in all directions, if that makes any sense.
Does any of this ring a bell based off of my research of Vomar?
It's
Given your earlier Arcana check regarding the
Well, just like
Fae,
the planes and stuff. Did I any of the like folklore of
I
research that I
hesitate to
did?
make you make another roll, but I'm gonna make you make another.
History, maybe?
Yeah, let's go history.
Ooh, nice. Much better. 17.
17. You know that there is quite a lot of speculation about Vomar on a magical level, on a planar level.
Yeah.
Vomar, for some reason, is fucky and weird in a
Right.
way that a lot
One of
other
the reasons
planets-
I was excited to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are planes that are accessible from the surface and below the surface of Vomar that are not accessible anywhere else in the galaxy, which really puts some scientists on edge. Why the fuck is it like that? That's not how planes work.
Right.
But it's how they work here, apparently. And it's just a mystery that no one has enough data to crack. Most of the data seems contradictory to itself. You don't know. But you know that it's something that is probably specific to this planet.
Right.
I wouldn't even necessarily this planet, but you're almost willing to forego the word planet for the word world, because there's so much different about this place that it's not the physical celestial body that's weird.
Right.
So
It kind of makes sense as much as anything about Vomar can. I mean, it's
It's a-
kind of a weird place.
It's a gregarious planet. What can I say?
It's very interesting, though. I've been meaning to ask you. I took a picture of the camp last night with Vox, and I noticed something weird.
Yes.
There's like a red fuzz.
A red fuzz.
Yes, it's around where you were standing.
Yes.
What is that? Is it something to do with the whole eye thing? The magic that you two seem to share? I mean, different types, but yeah. You were talking.
We're gonna have to talk about that at some point.
In a sense,
Probably.
yes.
You can make portals and nowhere. You make red fuzz on camera.
I mean,
Does not seem like a fair trade. That's all I'm saying.
you say portals, but it's just a hole.
I mean,
That's a good hole.
It's a portal
I like that
to
hole.
a place. A door is a portal.
I suppose.
There is much more to it than just that, but that the red mist that you saw is, in a sense, the physical manifestation of me.
That's really cool.
Huh.
I may have to ask you to stay out of photos in the future. It kind of messes up
Wow.
Make sure you say
at least the artistic ones. The everyday like studying blah blah blah. I don't really care. But
Well, if
yeah.
you inform me beforehand, I will do what I can.
can you turn it off? Is it
No.
something okay?
Good.
Well,
Yeah, it's best to be out of the way for these
can-
artistic shots.
You can't just
I'm
ask someone to
constantly
turn off
surrounded
their
by a
existence.
blackness.
Well, I didn't know if it was like power. If you were to stop channeling the power, maybe the result would be different. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't understand how his magic works.
From my understanding, it is always there.
Good. Slightly unsettling.
Not really.
Well, to the rest of us.
Nah.
Weird. All right.
Weird stuff like right here, just looking down.
Oh yeah, no, I'm like, because I'm 5'4" and you're 7'10".
Yeah.
Jesus.
You're gonna
We're a
get,
halfling apart in height.
You're gonna get distracted by a midget.
You could put a halfling on my shoulder and we barely match his height.
You have a halfling within range of you.
Yep.
You can try it.
Yeah.
God.
We stack a bunch of people on top of each other.
I'd at least heard tell. I don't know if they're real, but I think I'd heard of some of the things called like vampires. I think I don't. Are you one of those? Would you tell us if you're one of those?
Yes, I'm definitely a vampire.
That would make a lot of sense.
That's the rules of vampires. They have to tell you if they're vampires.
Can I roll to determine if I know what vampire is?
I don't know what check that would be. History, Arcana, Science? I don't fucking know. History.
Natural 20.
No way. Fuck.
Fucking with me. Oh, I hate you.
23.
Do
Oh, I know what
vampires
vampires are.
Great.
I know what
I have
vampires
to
are.
consolidate my vampire lore.
Oh hell.
This
I
is
have
how this
vampire
happens.
lore.
This is
No,
like
I mean, I just wanted to know if I knew about them.
we're only in Arc 1. Why are you asking about vampires now? They're in Arc 6, okay?
You think there's gonna be more than one arc?
Yeah.
This is gonna fall apart by episode 3.
Weird.
But
I have one question about what your vampire lore is, which is, do mirrors? Can you see them in mirrors?
so here's the thing about mirrors. Mirrors in general are made with silver, right? Are made with some portion of silver. Less and less in the galaxy because people have made more efficient, less expensive ways to make mirrors.
Reflective, yeah.
Especially in things like fucking spaceships that, you know,
Right.
you don't want broken glass in 0G. You don't want that.
Yeah.
So any mirror that is not made with silver, you can see a vampire in. Any mirror or any camera or anything that is made with silver, you cannot. Because silver has an effect on, you know,
According to lore.
Yeah, according to lore, silver has an effect on whether or not vampires show up. So digital cameras, yes and no.
I'll just kind of slide over to Hayes and just go, do you have any silver mirrors? I don't.
Pull out a
Really
silver
keep
coin.
them on.
Okay, I don't think he's a vampire.
I think you can hear.
I'd be burning his fingers. I know
Yes,
these
I
things.
don't.
I'm
I
from
don't.
here.
I don't think he's a vampire.
Oh, God.
I think we're okay.
I'm totally making shit up.
Weird
God, the pain.
question. Can I see your teeth? Can I see your teeth?
They're very sharp.
All of them are very sharp.
Yeah.
I will say, vampires have become quite popular in literature in the last couple of decades because that is lore from Vomar.
Mm-hmm.
That is lore that has
Seeped from.
seeped from Vomar into the greater galaxy. And that was kind of part of your research into Vomar, is you're like, oh, this is where this myth is from.
Right.
Like,
That's why I know so much about it, is because that was
Right.
like the ooh wait
that
what
you hyper-focused
Cool.
on that hard.
Is there a sub-story about how vampires can be in sunlight and just sparkle?
You don't know.
Yep.
You don't know. You don't know how to
I think
Written by Matthew
But
Stiers.
In this town, I look for a library and look for
Wow.
vampire erotica.
Don't get me sued.
I know.
I think
That's why
we-
I reverse names. So we can't possibly be sued by
Or you
mixing up
just say
letters.
vampire erotica.
I think we are. All right. I don't think you're a vampire. I think we're okay.
Good job, detective. And then she's gonna walk off.
How did you get your hole in space?
I'm gonna go head over to the. Does the doctor have a lot
How
of
did you gain your
books,
hole?
by chance?
She doesn't have books
Biologically.
like for sale.
No, but just like research,
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I
like
did.
formalities and weird creatures and stuff like that to look out.
As well.
We'll get to you in a minute.
Yeah, I was gonna just let you know.
That's a story for another time.
Okay.
Clear the stage for you motherfuckers.
Uh-huh.
You're both very weird.
Thank you. I think.
Yes. It's more entertaining than these simple people. Just points at some of the general like townsfolk that seem like just kind of generic. It's much more interesting, I think.
I think they're lovely though. They're quite nice.
Well, I didn't say it was bad. I just find it more entertaining when you have weird, crazy things going on.
When you have extra holes.
I don't have it. You
And
have.
blood.
You're the one with the extra hole.
Let's.
I quit.
Anyway.
We got the racism. We got.
This
God.
episode has everything.
This episode is nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
It will always be compared to the first episode.
I guess we have a story that is not known and a story that will not be told. We'll figure it out, actually. I'm sure. I was
I do
going
really
to
want to
ask.
know about the blood and how the floating.
The what?
How did that happen?
The what?
The blood.
The blood.
Blood eyes and
The blood
mist
eyes
and
and
things.
Was
yes.
part of my first life. You were literally standing next to us when I was
That
talking.
is true. And you,
I probably know about Bravash
Science check.
physiology, right?
This is a low science
being
check.
galactic and interested and stuff like that. 13.
13? Yeah. You
Having
know,
been much more exposed to
you don't
it.
know a lot of the details.
I
but
know
you
the
do
general,
know
like-
The
the vague strokes.
life cycles of Roche.
Yes.
Yeah. In the same way we remember the life cycle of the worm, like fucking I don't know.
Right.
You know there is one.
So how far into your second stage are
hold on.
you? Just out of curiosity, I mean, I don't want you turning into a giant.
HR
Just
literally
shy
can't
of
ask
a century.
I realize after asking you, I don't know how long those usually take, so that doesn't help me. But I'll look it up. Well,
Have you eaten yet today?
me?
Yes.
Here and there.
I'm
I'm rolling.
good food.
As I did in the trailer, I'm gonna roll to see if I'm hungry. Nope, I'm not hungry.
Great.
The tavern has good food.
Anything? I guess I could get food, but I'm not really that hungry.
Ah, that's fine.
I am kind of very exhausted though. It has been a long travel, especially with not being able to sleep last night.
What time of the day is it?
It's after the storytelling and after being in town for a little bit. It's like 10 p.m.
I think a good night's rest would be lovely.
Well, it's closer to 9.
Yes.
Did you see any stores in here that I believe they call them technically gift shops?
Gift shops.
Did I see?
Shoppes. No.
Did I clock any gift shops on the way to town?
Oh, perception check.
Just the defeat.
17.
The defeat alone made it worth
There are
it.
no fucking gift shops in Lumia.
Dang it!
The only place that I saw open was it looked like an alchemist shop. Actually, I was going to go talk to her. I will. I'm going to go visit her shop. Actually,
Would you like someone to accompany you?
if you want.
Let's go.
Perhaps you could ask her. I'm sure, being a native, she would know where to find a gift shop if there is one here.
Why did I not ask her?
We're gonna head to the Silver Quill, I think it was.
Silver Quill Apothecary.
Look at
So-
that
Strong
memory.
head.
Look at that. I'm
yeah.
not
Harmless.
going to shoot you with a Nerf gun.
Oh.
Thrombus will go find a place to sleep.
Okay.
Preferably nearby where we stashed everything.
Are you not going to sleep in the inn? No.
I'm
Okay.
gonna sleep on one of the roofs.
Okay.
Darker side of the roofs.
The dark side of the roof.
Okay. Are you gonna like
When he
in
said
the,
it, I
on
knew
the
it was
carts? Is that where you're going?
No, like onto the roof of the building.
Oh. We'll get to that
Yeah.
in a minute. That's gonna involve some rolls. We'll get
Yeah.
to that.
You're just gonna go straight through all the hay.
Looking
So
frustrated.
you head toward the apothecary,
I do.
and then these two, just a few minutes later, follow you. But-
Do I clock him like not that far behind me?
Yeah, I mean the road's pretty empty, so
Yeah. That's when I thought I'd have a moment to myself. Yeah.
you.
Lady Fearless!
She just stops, spear in hand, kind of turns her head. You all also decided to follow me for a stroll.
We had shopping to do. What are
Nothing.
you doing?
I'm talking to a colleague.
I was actually hoping to.
There's nothing open this late. Everything closes by like 7.
That's unfortunate.
It's a trading post.
They should be trading at all hours.
Yeah, like not.
This
not
is an opportunity.
yeah,
what are they doing?
Gift shops are not considered a trade, love. They're considered a novelty and a way to get money out of tourists.
I don't consider myself a tourist.
I do.
Just
I mean,
being
really-
immediate. I do.
Really, I feel like it's more important who the natives consider a tourist to be determined who is a tourist. So I would have to say that she's probably right. You are.
Thank you. We do agree on
He
something.
just sadly walks ahead of everyone.
I am too, if it makes you feel any better.
You also see just walking into the Silver Quill Apothecary, which is a little down the road,
Huh.
catching up to him, is Amber and Lila. The,
Oh.
enchanter and her partner.
Oh.
are-
Amber, Lila.
And Lila's got this one of the boxes out of their cart. But
I kind of hailed them down. Oh, you're also running over the Silver Quill.
oh yes, yes, where I have something that I found in the move that I think Mia would like.
Oh, huh.
You
Lovely.
know, because you know these people. You know that Amber's father was the reason her sign at her shop had like apothecary crossed out and it had a bunch of other things written below it.
Yeah.
It used to be owned by her dad, who was a doctor, who was a alchemist,
Gotcha.
sort of both. And he trained Mia's father. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
but
Oh. No, if you have any other useful knickknacks or herbs or anything like that, let me know and I'll see if I can pluck them off your hands if you're interested.
I found all of this. It's mostly just equipment, but we were gonna.
Yeah, Mia probably could use it a little bit more than I can at this point. A little too mobile for it.
Yeah. And you know that Lila, her partner, is an alchemist as well, but
Mhm.
most of their business revolves around enchanted items.
Right.
So,
Actually, while we're walking with him, I'll say, out of really random curiosity, do you know Rufus in ODF? A strange wireborn person? Had that knickknack shop.
which knickknack shop?
It was, what was it called?
I don't know, what was it called?
It was, let me pull it up. Hold on.
Knick-knack, paddywhack.
Nope. It's waiting for it.
This is why you take notes.
I do have notes.
Take your notes.
I
I
just
don't know if I
forgot.
took as many notes
Uh,
maybe you intro.
It has a stupid name as the Rusty Bucket.
Oh, I'd never been in there. But
Okay, I wasn't sure if you all were kind of in different circles, so I wasn't sure if you'd ran into him, but
I'd never been in there, but I think yes, I walked in once or twice, but I'd never known him. No,
oh, okay. Well,
I ended up walking out without buying anything. Weird place.
yeah, it's an acquired taste. Took him literally a month for him to convince me to buy this.
Oh, I'd been wondering about that. It's,
Yeah, it's a precaution
I see.
for my profession.
No pride,
Yeah.
but
I suppose Mia's gonna have a very busy night tonight. Has a lot of visitors.
oh boy.
Yeah, she'll appreciate that.
But Amber will hold up in the door for everybody, and You walk in.
I thank her.
Mm-hmm.
I thank you, too.
Yeah.
Everyone walks in. This storefront. It's not really a storefront. It's a doctor's office.
Yeah.
There is like a small storefront in the front that has, there's selections of different herbs. There's you could restock a healer's kit here if you were so inclined. Herbalism kit if you were so inclined.
Probably just make sure I'm topped off.
She has a couple of potions in a glass case, but it seems like more the kind of thing she would use in an emergency rather than something she's
trying to hawk at this point.
Yeah, she's not displaying them to sell, but she has them on hand in case someone maybe wants to buy them or if someone gets really hurt and is brought to her. And so there's just like this short section of the shop that's part, shop, and then part there's a row of chairs, so it's part waiting room, and then like her office is in the back. And the door opens and the little bell rings and she kind of she comes hustling out. Youngish elven woman, blonde hair, kind of skinny. And she, hello everyone. What seems to be, how can I help you?
Oh, well, we're all obviously just very sick in the head people, so that's why we're here. Hi, Mia, how are you?
I'm alright, how are you?
I just had a professional question, but I figure I'd let these two go ahead and...
Oh, yes. Amber dear, how are you? And we'll, take her hands and Amber kind of gestures to Lila, and Lila just hauls this box up onto the counter. So we found these while we were moving. These belonged to Amber's dad, and I don't know why I'm saying this directly to you. These belong to Amber's dad, and we thought you could maybe use them. And she just pushes the box toward her, and she just surprised starts picking through everything that's in here.
Oh, that's some good gear.
Oh my gosh! Some of these were my dad's, and she just has this little, tries not to break down. Oh, okay.
This is Mia, who's kind of...
Yeah. Oh my gosh, thank you so... And they're kind of having a moment, but...
Does any of it look like mechanical gear, or is it more like flasks and...
It's mostly potion brewing supply. I mean, are you looking into the box?
I mean, I'm kind of trying to...
Probably
see.
glanced into it as you were
to see
walking
it.
in here as well, because it was open.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly potion brewing
I'm
materials. There's some, it's been supplemented by some, gas burners and whatnot. But it's mostly just for potion.
Right. Okay.
So there are some as well, little wooden discs that have these gold arcane runes set into them that makes brewing potions easier and more efficient, and that's part of why it's, if you have all of the right equipment, you can make healing potions out of just a regular herbalism kit. But if you have the right equipment that you've invested money in and invested time in, it's easier and cheaper to do so. So it allows her to sell them for cheaper than if you just bought the ingredients yourself. You lose quite a bit of them in the process if you don't have the right equipment. So.
All right.
But.
I'm going to let them have their moment.
Okay. And there's kind of a little bit of catching up. They do switch into mostly Elvish between the three of them, but you catch most of it. It's
just
reminiscing a little bit and them talking about how Mia's had a really hard go of it since her dad passed away, and trying to get herself back up onto her feet, putting the getting the office back together.
Yeah, it's a big process, especially with a funeral too.
I need you. It was several years ago. You were probably aware of it. I need you to roll me a perception check.
Okay. I'm also poking around at just some of the herbs and stuff, and just looking at them because I don't know that.
There's a row
plants
of
of
books on a shelf that's above. They're not for sale, They're like behind the counter, but just to glance at them.
I'm eyeing
Perception.
those heavily. Oh, that is very cocked, which is sad because it was. Oh, that's better. Cool. Perception.
Perception.
28.
28.
Wow.
You're
I'm
on,
nosy.
You're on the
Yeah.
hunt for something specific. You kind of, you're glancing around the store, just like the store portion of the waiting room. There's a couple of healing potions which seem archaic to you, fairy tale-esque, but
Right.
they're here, and you could purchase them if you were so inclined. Different herbs and whatnot, things that you don't recognize, that you maybe have seen in, references, but you can't get
I plan on
the
purchasing
entirety
one
of-
sample of every herb that I see.
of
Just
every
to-
herb.
just-
That gets expensive.
Just one leaf. or-
There are some where like a single leaf is 100 gold.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Mm.
She-
Okay. Well,
A
everyone
lot
that
of
is
them are in
reasonably
cases that she's
feasible.
like has them that you could purchase, but she uses them herself for
okay.
cures and whatnot. Part of the reason why it seems a lot of the things here are overpriced is because she's not necessarily willing to just sell them because she's
She
using
needs
them
them,
for
yeah.
her own
Makes sense.
remedies that she,
Right.
You come to her when you have an ailment, not necessarily
Right.
for an ailment down the line.
Okay. I'll talk to her about just getting samples
However-
to study.
One of the things you came to Vomar for was something you didn't necessarily expect to find. However, you glance at that row of books behind her counter and you see 4 textbooks in a row getting successively larger as they get more in depth, all of which have been written by a Dr. Nancy Verdentia.
That's why I'm here. Okay.
Hmm.
There's a reason I wanted to come see her.
And they all seem rather worn, but they're all on like the end of the bookcase because it's just a shelf set into the
Right.
wall. They're all on the end that seems to be most recently grabbed. So they seem rather worn and used, but
It's taking all my willpower not to interrupt their conversation.
the conversation's almost over. They're
I'm doing my
They're-
very best.
Um,
But toward as it starts to like taper to that natural pause point, like I'm basically standing there just like
Calm
right.
yourself. Find your inner peace.
They all give their goodbyes and their hugs and
As Elijah and Merlin would say, see you in the morning. Sleep well.
of course.
Yeah.
And those two exit.
Right.
I didn't want to interrupt you, so
So good of you.
I can see that.
I'm first of all, I'm very interested in possibly getting a little bit of a sample of many of these herbs, just like the tiniest little bit to try and analyze, because I'm trying to catalog.
This one's a
plants.
researcher.
Yes,
Calls
Um,
himself to be one at least.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I have, and I point to Volks with the stack of scanners just packed on his back. I wanted to analyze
Mm-hmm.
that is secondary. The really interesting thing that I would like to talk to you about, and just points to those books. Dr. Nancy,
Oh yes.
did she come through here?
She did about a few months ago.
Do I know this name?
Roll. I want to say a history check. Let's do a history check.
Sure. All right. I was clearly rolling the wrong dice before. That is a 19.
No, 19. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
You have vaguely heard of her, but you don't know anything about her. It's kind of like a niche. She's a doctor. She's a rather famous doctor. You don't know doctor of necessarily, but you've heard the name.
Yeah.
But
Have I heard that name before?
But yes, she was through here a few months ago. She actually donated those to me.
Did she say where she was going? Last I heard she was heading to Fort Pine, but I'm kind of trying to get in contact with her.
She was headed to Fort Pine. She was alone.
Oh, that's not good.
She insisted she didn't need a guide. It didn't seem to be a arrogance thing, more of a I don't know, she just seemed off, but she donated that and a bunch of, I have some equipment that I'm learning how to use.
Oh, is that where you? I'd heard from Ruby that you were donating a bunch of equipment, but
From her, yes.
huh?
She just came in and gave me some textbooks and some. She had some, like a big wheelbarrow of them, and just gave me some, not all of them. But it seemed like she was just handing stuff out.
Can I do like an insight check to get a vibe on the state of mind of Dr. Nancy from what I know about her? Does this seem odd, or does this seem like something
Given that
she
you're
would
getting a vibe check from someone that you haven't like spoken to in person for many years,
do? Right.
secondhand from someone who talked
Definitely
to her,
disadvantage.
definitely
please.
disadvantage.
But that's why I said can I, because
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a possibility. Would you like to verify those rolls? That, and that one's hard to read.
Yeah, it's an 18.
Yeah. So my low is an 18 plus.
What the fuck?
A natural 20 and an 18
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
gives me
Save some for the rest of
a
us.
25.
Jesus Christ.
He really wants to know.
I want to know.
I want to know.
Wow. Okay.
Didn't expect that high roll, huh?
No, I was not prepared to give you an answer to that. From what you remember of her, she's always been very benevolent. She's always been very generous. So this doesn't seem out of the ordinary for her at all. The whole kind of fervently moving from one place to another, insisting she doesn't need a guide, that's weird.
Alone. Yeah.
Traveling alone, that's weird. Coming to Bomar in general, that's a little weird.
Right.
She really has no reason to be here as far as you know.
But it doesn't seem
So-
like she is expecting to die and giving away her shit.
No.
But
That
just
seemed
kind of like there's something weird, but like
yeah, it
I
seemed
don't
like
know.
she was. I'm bringing some extra stuff in order to donate it to
Okay.
people who
especially
could
she'd
learn
probably
how to use
consider
it.
she'd probably consider a lot of these people a little backwater in terms of medicine. So it does feel like
I'm gonna say, fucking no.
no, she doesn't think that.
Well, you don't know because you again haven't spoken to her in years, but she's always been the kind of person to look at something for its merits and not for its
Appearance.
I was going to say drawbacks.
Mhm.
Drawbacks is the word. Look at something for its merits and not its drawbacks, right? So like, she's not necessarily the kind of person to look at this place and go, oh well, they're just backwater, they don't know anything. It's okay, so they do things differently here. How is that a benefit? How is that a drawback? Etc.
Okay,
But
maybe try and combine knowledge.
yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Okay.
Eastern and Western philosophies.
Yeah, so maybe that's why she's here, is to try and incorporate the way they do stuff here into her own.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. A couple months ago, you said?
3 months, yes.
Oh, okay. Did she mention any other plans past Porcupine, or?
She had asked if I'd seen a particular set of symptoms. Like she was looking for something specific, but I have not, so
What kind of symptoms?
fatigue, prominent veins, in relation to some delusion. There was she had a list. Hang on. She left me a list, and she'll kind of shuffle into her back office and pull out a list that she has laminated.
All right.
Yeah, she's like, I wanted to keep this. But mostly fatigue, prominent veins, delusions, particularly of paranoia. And she's kind of trying to distill like medical terminology into
Layman's term.
layman's terms. Most everything else is sort of covered under some common plagues that we have around here, but specifically in conjunction with the fatigue and paranoia. But
Have I heard of any symptoms like this?
roll me a science check? No, medicine.
Medicine?
Medicine.
Did she leave a way to contact?
16 plus stuff again.
She did not. I'm sorry.
22.
She's get to that in a second. She said that she would be in Fort Pine Point.
Okay.
That
Perhaps she will be
She-
staying there for a while.
yeah, she said she would be there for some time. She was
Okay.
coming to do some research. She
that
said
is-
she might come back through if.
That is good. Even if she is leaving Fort Pine soon, perhaps she'll be heading this way, so we would see her on the way there.
I
Okay.
really hate to be the naysayer, but I'm hoping that she got to Fort Pine Point.
Same here.
Black Hollow Pass is very dangerous. I
It
tried to convince her to wait for.
It seems very odd that she would travel on her own, but she's a very intelligent woman. I would expect her to be prepared.
Intelligence doesn't always have a lot to do with it. It's also just knowing the lay of the land and
It's sort
True.
of,
the hazards.
sort of chance.
Yeah.
Being prepared, though. I have to. I'm sure she's fine. I'm sure she's fine. All right. I'm gonna give her a gold.
Oh.
Just thank you for that information.
Thank you.
And is it possible for me to get like just tiny little samples of a bunch of these to analyze and
Tell you what,
document?
actually, many of these I cannot give out samples of because they are rather restricted. Not restricted, but
Well,
I apologize for the assumption, but I'm assuming you don't have much familiarity with the Marin plants.
no, that is why I'd like to study.
Many of these are very poisonous.
Well,
And I'm
I
not
just want like
willing
molecules, like little tiny samples, not like enough to do anything with.
Tell you what, from what I understand of samples like that, the better if they're fresh, correct?
Yes.
And she will start digging around. I don't do any of my own foraging anymore. I have several people who do that for me who are much better at that than I am. But I have this, and she'll pull up a book. It is a guide to foraging on Vermont, specifically in the Ristich Mountains. Be careful with whatever you find. Some of these things are not for just the layman to grab. There is safety information for each of them.
Mhm.
Please follow safety information. Make sure this one follows the safety
I
information.
will make
please.
sure, don't worry.
If you get yourself killed with a book that I gave you, I will never forgive myself. As a doctor.
I would probably be having folks collect
Even
the
then.
samples, but
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
Pretty good.
Take very good care
Yes,
of that.
I'll give 5.
Thank you.
Do I have any of those samples? I'm assuming probably I just have more of like the basic remedies. But-
So, you have probably sold her
Yeah.
quite a few of these samples.
Oh, okay, cool.
Or even just traded them for other things in your hero's kit that you just weren't able to find on a particular trek.
Yeah.
But you have a good, probably a third of what she has in her little case there.
Okay.
And like the case it's like a glass case, and then there's bottles, little glass bottles of all different kinds within that case, all neatly labeled on the top of the jar. So it's more for her to grab things rather than,
Yeah.
her to sell them. But you recognize quite a few of them, and you have quite a few, like about a third of them in your pack. Let me say this, not more common ones, but the easier to cultivate ones.
Yes.
Anything that's
Ones that
like
will-
difficult and finicky,
Mhm.
nah.
Yeah, anything that will basically survive in the backpack.
Also, if any of your equipment that Dr. Nancy donated is having any mechanical issues, I can help with that.
Oh, you are just
Mhm.
all kinds of full of surprises, aren't you?
I mean, I build folks. I know my way around technology.
Have you seen the boots? There are many surprises.
Yes.
Oh, I love
It creates
these
more
boots.
surprises when you're out in the woods and something can see us.
I love these boots. They're fantastic.
Fantastic.
I do appreciate your offer. I'm afraid that I haven't quite read through all of the textbooks that she gave me, and so I haven't messed with much of the equipment. I'm still learning.
Do you
I
want me
don't
to
know-
just make sure they're functioning properly?
Sure. And she'll just very briefly glance to you for a vibe check on him.
she'll look over to you for a sec, just kind of like the weird patterns on her mask, and she'll. This one's arrogant, but knows what they're doing. So
All right.
knows her way around the galactic tech. So
All right. Sure. Come this way, and she'll lead you into. She has 2 offices in the back. One that's more of that has a desk on the back, but has like a little sofa for someone to come and talk about whatever they're.
Right.
And then the other one is a little more of a.
Lavish.
Yeah, it's a little more of a sterile environment for if someone is like actually sick. She doesn't have like a surgery area because that's not her specialty.
Right.
But she has kind of an office and a. I'm not going to try to find a word for it. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not going to spend 10 minutes looking for the right word.
So before entering, I will prestidigitation myself. Just make sure I'm clean,
Cool.
as clean as I can get before entering.
You do catch that she does the same thing. It seems to be common practice. But you head in, and in the more sterile rooms, that's where most of the equipment is lined up neatly against one of the walls, but a couple of them have obviously been like moved and used, and most of them have not. Various scanners and whatnot. But go ahead and roll me a. I'm gonna make this a mechanics check.
Okay. 18.
18. You look them over, you don't see any obvious deficiencies. You know Dr. Nancy, she's very thorough, she's very specific, so she wouldn't give out equipment that wasn't functional.
Yeah.
Some of them seem
I'm just
worn.
double checking in case something.
Handles of things seem worn. It seems like these are not,
Used.
it's not new equipment, it's used, but it is
In good
refurbished
condition.
and well-maintained equipment. So,
Typical Dr. Nancy. It is all in very good condition.
that's good to hear.
So it should last you quite a long time.
That's
If I
good to
come
hear.
back this direction, I'd be glad if something breaks. I just let them know.
I would appreciate that, yes. And if you do come back through, let me know how you're getting along with that. Fantastic. Well, is there anything else I can help you all with?
yeah, I
Anything?
had a professional question I wanted to ask you.
Of course.
Especially actually with any of the books, are any of them are they mainly medical texts, or are they? Is there anything in regards to like the local creatures and stuff like that of the area?
I just realized that we totally glanced over your medicine check over those symptoms.
Yes, 22.
Yes. You do recognize them.
Okay.
You remember right before a certain horrible day,
Ah.
there was a sort of plague that had rolled through your town,
Okay.
and along with the human plague that had rolled through your town, that matches those symptoms.
Oh. As we're just probably just chilling in the foyer. That sounds familiar.
I take it you recall something.
Just a scotch. Day before the worst day of my life. Yeah.
Well, the month before the worst.
Yeah, a month before that. So it's just like the town that was nearby where
Yeah.
the chalet was. Okay.
Yeah, where a certain organization had settled in and made themselves at home.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's interesting. I wait until they come back out.
Mhm.
So a few things in regards to why we were here.
Of course.
I have some more herbs I need to drop off for you.
Oh,
I've had I got a small batch. It wasn't as much as I usually like to bring, but
of course.
you would see for the first time this weird backpack that, like, you've noticed this weird backpack, but I haven't asked about it. She takes off this weird backpack that basically looks like a small dresser that like fits squarely on her back. She presses the button on it, and these 2 legs just like jut out from the bottom of it as it stands like roughly proper height with her to be able to build through it. She flips a little switch on the side of it. As this little door opens, there's just these multiple little drawers that are in there. And as she does, you see her pull open a drawer and like just a bunch of herbs just kind of pop out the top of it like it's been overfilled. And she's like, a little bit of that one, pulls out another one, a little bit of that one, a little bit of that one, and then she pushes them back and it's like they're not overstuffed at all.
Some dimensional fuckery.
Yeah, there's some dimensional fuckery going on there, as she would. Yep. That's what I had so far.
Oh, excellent. And she starts pulling out some jars, and like as you're pulling stuff out,
Yep.
you know, sorting things into and like neatly writing the labels on top. Oh, excellent. I will be taking all of these if I may. Go ahead and roll me a. I got rid of nature. That makes me so mad.
It's rolled under science, I think now.
Yeah, that's not exactly what I would. Survival. Roll me a survival check.
Sure.
There you go.
Okay, that's not bad. Survival is a 19.
19. I can always use more of this and more of this. And do you have any more? And she'll hold up. Do you have any more of this?
Let me check. And do I have any more of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of the rather common ones, but she goes through it very fast. And
Yeah.
so she'll take 2 jars of that off.
I do. Yeah. Oh, I had to get in the wrong drawer. Oh well. Here you are.
Now, on previous rate, is that still
That's fine.
great? And she will start pulling out, and she'll pay you 19 gold
19.
for the lot. For 8 jars.
8 jars. Solid.
Like some of them are the more common herbs that you would find just along the path, and some of them are a little more rare. But she'll take all of them, and she'll get them ready to process. Some of them to dry, some of them to turn into tinctures, whatever she needs.
Perfect. Also, I was curious if you are terribly familiar with some of the. On the road, we ran into some strange, almost fey shadow creatures that we had
Very interesting.
They had a weird paralytic venom in them. I was curious if you knew. Yeah, but they seem to just move through shadow. I was curious if you had any books in regards to weird fey creatures or magic or anything like that, or if you knew of anyone who might.
That would be more the purview of the storytellers. They might have some. They would know more about specific creatures.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if you knew anything in regards to them specifically.
Though, do you have any other information, like visual details?
I can provide that.
This one actually got samples of them, and
I also have a recording of them.
Oh, yes, may I see?
Yes, I will pull up the data from the previous day, and show the video of the attack.
Okay.
And me standing over the one, like scanning stuff, and then it getting murdered.
Yeah.
And then the stop before the subsequent argument.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Cammy's blood pressure gets pumping a little bit just thinking about that argument again. Starts tapping her foot a little bit. Actually, her hoof a little bit.
Ooh, I haven't.
I was going to get samples of the venom, but I was interrupted.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't. They wouldn't have stayed anyway.
Well, I mean,
I have seen these
partial.
before. I'm not
Suppose.
entirely certain their origin, but I have seen these around the area in the last few months.
Interesting.
I had seen them before decades ago, but I have no idea what they are. I've just seen them. No one in the town has reported any run-ins with them, so I haven't had to.
Maybe I'll check in with the Weavers and see if they have any knowledge of them.
Perhaps
They might.
you said they seemed fey in nature.
Seemed that way. I recall something from a while ago, and I think that I may have ran into something like that, or maybe when the woods that my mother and I lived in.
Tidy would be able to help you, I think.
I'll give them a gander and see.
Also, if he brought this to, I do have a colleague in Fort Pine Point.
Okay.
He's at a library there. Go speak to. Are you actually writing it down?
Yeah, she'll write down. She'll like pull out a little notepad.
Richard Parish, Parish. Richard Parish.
Richard Parrish, gotcha.
He's a colleague of mine. very, very much specializes in the planes and particularly religious texts.
Right. He definitely seems like a good first-hand source for that.
Yes. So
All
if
right.
any of us don't know anything, he would. But
Right.
is there anything else I can help you all with?
I think that was it. That was the main quandary I was running into. It's the information is just like on the tip of my tongue, and I just wanted to see if anyone had any knowledge of them.
Understandable.
Yeah.
As far as I know, from there's very little research I have been able to conduct because I have no idea what they are, but from my run-ins with them previously, it doesn't seem like there's anything long-lasting.
Okay.
It did seem like the paralysis wore off naturally pretty quickly after.
Mhm.
That seemed to be my recollection from before.
I was going to try to synthesize something to prevent it, but
I have herbs for that. That can prevent most paralysis.
then we should probably start taking those and not
That
continuing
would have been
along the
nice.
journey.
Yeah, sorry. I was a little bit dismayed after a certain conversation that was had. Anyways,
Well, if there's nothing else, I
yeah, so
will
you...
go ahead to process these. Thank you so much for coming in.
Of course.
And thank you for checking that equipment. I do appreciate it.
Absolutely no problem at all. I
It's always
appreciate
nice
the
to see you.
information.
For the record, when you guys were in checking equipment and when you would have been kind of distracted, Hayes would have like kind of walked over to one of the jars, found something he kind of liked, kind of would have like almost gone to pocket, and he just like,
Well, given most of the jars are under a glass case,
never
Yeah.
you
mind.
would have to get around the counter.
Slip away. No,
Just punches it. Can we see? No? Okay, we're good.
never mind that.
All right.
The glass case is so beautifully polished that you reach for it and doom, against the glass. And motherfucker.
And
What
that's
you doing
the
over there?
pause you needed to resist.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll file out.
If you all head towards the tavern, Tharmless,
And...
Yes.
yeah. 2
So-
hours later.
are you you're attempting to get on the roof? You said, yeah.
Yes.
First of all, roll me an athletics check.
Levitate.
Never mind.
Never mind. Second of all, are you trying to do this quietly, or are you just getting on the roof?
I'm trying to be.
Batman.
Not necessarily quiet, but not loud. So trying to be
are
respectful.
you trying to be stealthy or not?
Ish.
So, yes.
I'm trying
So
not
yes,
to be...
roll me a stealth check. There is no ish roll. You can't half roll.
well, that's a 6, I guess I can.
As you cast it, maybe there's like some brightness. Maybe you're not entirely quiet.
It's
Well,
an 8 to try to be polite.
great.
8 for politeness.
That'd be an etiquette roll, but we haven't. No, I don't
Yeah.
think this counts as etiquette.
Mm.
Climbing onto somebody's roof.
Dexterity etiquette check.
So are you trying to get onto the roof of the tavern or the roof of the stables?
The roof that looks the most sturdy. And
The
able
tavern
to bear
roof would be the
someone.
most sturdy. It's 3 floors up.
I got a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
You get about 1 floor up before you hear, "What you doing up there?"
It's a better place to sleep than
You look
inside.
down and there's Thomas, little tabaxi lad.
You want to come up?
No. There are rooms you can sleep in.
Yes. It's nicer outside.
I just want you to know that it's creepy. That you're levitating past people's windows.
Just
Yes,
staring at
it
you from
is.
the window, just like...
Okay, I am not paid enough to deal with this. Have a wonderful night, and just leaves you to it.
You too.
You get up to the roof. You may sleep on the roof if you're so inclined.
So he will, or they will summon Thramlet or Thuzu and stargaze through their eyes.
Oh.
I don't believe you described Thuzu in your trailer.
I don't think so.
So, would you describe Thuzu for us?
Thuzu's adorable.
I love Thuzu.
Thuzu is my
the
favorite.
best.
Yeah, so essentially, Thuzu is a space axolotl.
Okay.
They are just shy of a pitch black color, with various, what appears to be star-like sparkles
Fantastic.
embedded into their skin. Really big eyes that, if you stare long enough into them, you almost feel as though you're staring into other galaxies.
Beautiful. Beautiful. But you summon Thuzu.
And stargaze and read the language of the stars.
Fantastic. Just for funsies, roll me, because I'm check happy today.
Checks for tigers.
I don't want to make it science. Just roll me a wisdom check.
Wisdom check.
Wisdom.
It's a 4 for an 8.
4. You're great.
8 total.
Great.
Hmm.
They're pretty. No, you look up and the only thing that really kind of catches your attention is that most places in the larger galaxy, there's just enough light pollution that it makes the stars not hard to see, but it's just, they're a little dull. Just because a lot of these planets in the galaxy are
Industrialized.
very industrialized. Even kind of being out in the middle of nowhere on those planets, there's still enough just on the horizons, right? Not so much with Lomar. It really does feel like being in a spaceship out, in space, where you can see forever.
Actually,
But
does this starscape look similar to Hell?
I'm gonna say with that wisdom check, definitely was not what I was having you roll for. Nope, no siree.
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
see.
You don't know.
Okay.
So
Position's a little weird.
the positions are not necessarily familiar to you. They're not unfamiliar, but they're not familiar.
Okay.
Don't know how that works. We're gonna glance past it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's your evening. You all head in and get rooms.
Yeah, as we're walking back, I was gonna. All right, so here's the thing: as this is going to be a long journey, it behooves us to not be at odds or to be questioning each other's judgment at all times. So, here is my attempt at making peace. Yes, stop right there. I know you were going to say something. For the job that you think that you hired me for, you are correct in what you said earlier. I did a shite job. I killed a subject that you were trying to get information on. That's my bad. In regards to the job that I thought I was hired on for, I did my best to keep everyone protected. And yes, I got a little bit heated in the moment, destroying that last subject. You have to understand a bit of what I've been through. I've seen a lot of young girls, some as young as that wee one that is traveling with us, disappear, not just necessarily by monsters, but by the people of the DC. So any chance that that thing would be able to wriggle itself loose and have a chance at her, or be able to warn more of those creatures to come back to us, I just didn't want to take that chance. So, if you are wanting to have me as your guide who helps you find interesting things on this planet, it would behoove us as well to also rearrange a bit of the terms of our contract. Does that seem fair? Because my entire prerogative is to ensure that you all make it from Odiev to Fort Pine Point in one piece. Whether that means fighting creatures or guiding you through dangerous terrain, that is my prerogative to do. Now, if you want me to help you find things, on top of all that, a bit of extra coin could be exchanged, bit of perhaps even information could be exchanged as a price.
I can speak now. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I feel like I made a bad assumption going into that evening. I was under the impression, based on our previous conversation, that you were an academic of some sort. But it is obvious you are a soldier. You have a very
I have a terse...
destroy what might hurt me mentality, which is not always a bad thing. It is necessary. It is required for a lot of situations. I was more expecting you to have a little bit more of an open mind. And that was
Same for you. That's interesting.
That was my misconception.
Yes. There's
however,
misconceptions everywhere.
yes. That has been corrected though. I am more aware of the type of person you are now. So, moving forward, I would just say that perhaps listening to the people that you are assisting, understanding the situation, give it like 10 extra seconds before you make a decision like that. We had our friendly giant man standing there ready to destroy the thing, as well as Volks, who, as if you had noticed, melted the other one.
Yes, I did
we
see
were
that. It was quite impressive.
very much in a position where it was under control. And I was going to be giving a very lenient period of time before it woke up to destroy it. I just wanted 20 seconds more.
Yeah.
But going forward, I understand the type of person that you are now and what to expect from...
I'll go ahead and stop you right there. You don't actually know who I am at all. You've made an assumption based on...
more of. I said more of.
Yes.
If you listen to my words, it was not that I was saying I understand everything you're saying.
No.
I'm just saying that I understand a little bit more of the type of reactions.
Yes, but now you're making assumptions based on that.
I'm going to go for a walk.
I mean, that's all you can do is take the available information and try and extrapolate the best solution information based off of that.
Interesting.
However, I'm not here just to get from point A to point B.
Yes.
And I agree.
Yes, because if you wanted a scientific research journey, I've done those before. Those are all well and good. I charge different rates for those.
And I understand that.
Yes.
I was under... My understanding of the term guide was different. There was probably some sort of translation issue.
Perhaps.
And I was expecting a little bit more of a like description and understanding of the surroundings rather than I know what to expect in this area as security who knows this area, which seems to be more of what the term, what your job hired for this caravan was.
Yes, it was.
So I agree. If you wish
Or
different compensation for increased sort of description and aid in discovery and understanding of the area, I will pay extra for that, yes.
Yeah. Okay, that seems amenable. Still not 100% sure how I feel about how you described all that, but that's more than all right, because I think that's just your nature, who you are. So, but yes, I didn't want to go the rest of this journey with my decisions being questioned at every turn.
That is what I was held my tongue on originally.
But
I think it is a good thing. I think you should even be questioning every decision I make. I think everyone should be questioning every decision everyone makes all the time. There should not be a, you have to trust me 100% to do exactly what is necessary. You should never have that trust. So I will be questioning everything that you do, but I'll be questioning everything I do, and you should be questioning everything I do, and I'll be questioning everything Hayes does, and
Hayes is out.
as I point to the
Mom and Dad were fighting. He's out.
Yeah. But
yeah,
I will do my best to understand that you are
yes,
prioritizing protection and safety
Yes.
over everything else.
Fair. She just kind of like stares at you for just like a hot second. I'm trying to determine if I like you or not.
I mean, if it helps you, I like you.
Not really, but I
I think you've shown more willingness to grow and learn than a lot of people I've interacted with. So,
also, yes, I was a soldier, but I was an apothecary long before I was a soldier, so I'm more of a battlefield medic. So if you're dying, I have the ability to make sure you don't.
I feel confident I won't be in that situation, but I appreciate that.
Well,
I will say it is, and there is definitely personal bias on this one, but I think it is a shame that some of your intellectual and academic traits were a little bit overridden by your social mentality that was trained into you by trauma and societal conditioning. But
I'm going to leave one be because
if I met you before all of that, I'm sure we would have been fantastic friends. For now, we get along, I think.
That's fair. So here's my price. Either we can agree upon a fair amount of gold and or silver, or you tell me what the real reason is you're here. Because I'm getting a much bigger picture of, especially with this Dr. Nancy that we were just learning about.
Well, I mean...
And please, I've had as I've said, I've done research tours before. I don't want any bullshit. Just tell me why you're here. Because half of them always tend to be here for wanting to get something out of Omar, and they usually aren't, and they go home pissed and angry at me for something that they clearly lack. So,
I did not lie to you about why I'm here. I'm here for information. I'm here to find Dr. Nancy. She has information that I need, but I'm also here because Vomar is a very interesting place, and more so
22 on insight.
Love my charisma. That's
Don't
a
tell
6.
me what the check is.
Do you want me to say what the check is?
What's the total first?
16.
Versus a 22? Yeah, tell me what the check is.
It's persuasion.
Okay.
Like, I'm not lying. I'm here for information.
Okay.
And I am. You get the feeling that I have a goal. Like, what brought me here wasn't just research on Vomar, but ever since I knew I was coming here, research on Vomar is really interesting and a good priority to me. Like, I am definitely invested in understanding this place.
Okay.
More so as I've encountered more of this world, I'm more and more fascinated by it and
it's a weird place.
Confused by it and infuriated and excited, and it is a lot of
That's a lot of us here.
That's just the universe.
Yeah.
Says the universe.
Says the universe.
But
Did you hear that?
I provided information about recordings and papers of who I am and what I do. I genuinely do study these types of things, so it is interesting to me.
Right. Well,
and it is a very understudied and researched planet.
that is what I found a lot of too. My time in the military helped show me that a lot of the galaxy at large does not really choose to understand what they see us as kind of a joke, that we are the people who are brought out
They've
of.
kind of ignored this planet and treated it as waste almost.
They see us as people pulled out of the Dark Ages and into their space age, and that as a result we're just centuries behind them, and we just have done things differently. We don't have a lot
They're
of.
not entirely wrong, but
Yeah.
there is a lot of interesting things here that they don't even understand.
Yeah.
You're far. This world is further ahead in some aspects than others.
Yeah.
Further ahead than galactic standards on some things.
But right, what did What was the Valisur Val was the lady who organized this whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. What did Val charge you for your portion of this journey?
That was
Yeah,
I
that
set
was-
it up way before
Yeah, that had been set up with your initial
transport.
transport
Yeah.
to here. I want to say it was like 50 gold or
100
100
credits.
credits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, probably 120 credits because galactic.
Well, no, Valisor is galactic.
Oh
She
yeah,
would
so
have
it
a-
would just
so
be
it was
100,
probably about 80 gold or 80 gold.
80 credits.
80 credits. Yeah.
80 credits, I believe.
Okay. Credits aren't as good to me, but I suppose it works just as well. Round it up to 20 and we'll call it a deal, and I'll show you some interesting shit like this temple that you were looking at from yesterday.
You know that I'm not going to find it.
Mhm.
I'm still going to mention. You did say either I can pay you or tell you why I'm here, and I told you why I'm here. But I'm going to pay you anyway.
Yeah.
I
Well, you didn't
have-
tell me anything new, so I'm going to say you're going to pay me at this point.
Yeah, but you said tell me the real reason. I told you the real reason. It just happened to be things
Yeah,
I
that's why,
already told
that's why
you.
it's only 20 credits at this point.
So
You
if
see
I
her-
had
you
lied
see
to
her
you
face
earlier,
You see
I
her,
would,
the mouth
Anyway,
portion of her face visor just kind of give you a smile.
you said 20 credits.
20 credits, all that.
I'll give you 10 gold.
Tingle. Perfect. Game's making bank today.
Yep. I'm assuming I can go back to sending you my questions that I've been writing down as part of this.
She kind of tilts her head, sure.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I know.
No,
Yeah.
that is, I don't want you to tell me things you don't know. I don't want you to make anything up. I want action.
Oh, it's so much funnier that way, though.
As
Right.
you guys are wandering back to the tavern,
Yeah.
the bonfire is still going, although the eldest of the weavers is packing up and leaving the youngers
Yeah.
to their, to mingle.
Yeah.
It's her bedtime,
Yeah.
but
See if we can grab her before she leaves.
grab her or speak to her.
Speak.
Don't
Like,
just
grab-
grab the elderly.
I need to
I
know what
mean-
you know about these fake creatures.
You can, it just won't go well.
Yeah. No, we would.
It won't go well for the elderly.
No. Elder Weaver, do you have a moment before you head off?
What language are you talking?
I would probably speak to her in Elven. Because I know that she was singing in Elven.
Yes, I suppose.
Can you pull up the video real quick?
I will pull up the video of the attack again.
My troop and I, the caravan that I am leading, we had.
Hang on a second,
Oh.
dear. And she'll dig into her little bag and
Of
pull out
course, of
these
course.
reader glasses and adjust them on her face. What am I looking at?
The caravan I'm leading, we ran into some strange, almost fey-like creatures, and we were wanting to see if you knew about it. Mia had recommended me to you for such knowledge.
Oh,
If you knew what they were, it's something that's been evading me, and I don't know quite what they are because I feel like I've seen them before, but I don't know when.
Let's just have a look.
Yeah.
And I will show the video of the attack.
And she kind of hums over it for a second as I roll for Arcana at advantage. Good thing it was advantage. I don't know, those look like Meanlocks.
Mealocks.
Meanlocks, yes.
Does that trigger any memories for me?
Not particularly. You've heard the name before, but you don't remember any of the stories associated with them.
Okay.
They're just like warlocks.
Yeah.
They're mean.
They're mean. Grr. Did they...
Gurlocks.
Grr. There wasn't anything like that we would have ran into in the forest at all?
You've probably seen them before, but you've never, at least as far as you remember, you don't remember the details of them.
Okay.
They're some kind of fey creature,
Mm.
but those seem to be. I believe someone had seen some of those earlier this month
Yeah.
around the town. That's concerning. Where did you see these?
Just a bit out of town. About how long has it been since we've
A
been
day.
in town? About a day past. Has this been
Hmm.
more? Have they been encroaching on the town a bit more?
These are manifestations of fear.
Manifestations.
If a bit of the Feywild seeps in to the material plane, and nothing is big enough to cross over, but the magic that sort of spews out can create a creature called a Meatlock.
Mm-hmm.
They can capture people, and over several days of screaming in their heads and reminding them of all of their worst fears, and then suffusing them with magic, can turn them into more Meatlocks.
Oh.
They burrow in the ground and create a little home for themselves. They hunt in packs. They prey on your worst fears.
Well, that is concerning.
Where were they when you left them?
When we managed to make sure that they were completely destroyed. I'll look over to you to make sure you just don't fucking say
You
it.
killed them.
Yes, we did.
Oh, thank you.
I don't understand. This isn't.
Oh, yeah,
I
it's
don't
all in
understand a
Elvish.
word
You're
that's
just-
being said.
Yeah.
I'm recording it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, they were. I described the area that the encampment that we were at.
Oh, that seems to be where Thomas had seen them. I
Thomas had
believe.
seen them.
Yes, he was out with one of the mares and had encountered some and had dashed away.
Right.
Yes. Well, she kind of sort of pats your elbow. Good on you.
Thank you.
Of
Right.
course.
I can see that the hour's getting late for you. You best be off to bed.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
it's my bedtime.
Yeah, you-
I need my beauty sleep.
Oh, of course. You keep those. Keep that. Words. you keep up the
It's
beauty
all right,
regimen.
dear.
Yes.
It's all right, dear. We all know the joke. She'll
Yeah.
pat you on the hand and sort
Be
of
safe.
totter off. Of
Then
course.
I would say maybe talk to some of the other elders of the village and see about some defenses. It seems like they might be getting closer.
Leave you, my darling. We have not neglected such a thing.
All right. I wouldn't want anything to happen here.
Of course. And she'll sort of pat you on the elbow again and totter off.
Yeah.
Has completely ignored you.
Yeah.
Beyond, like, the tablet, just,
didn't even like look at the boots and be like,
nope.
Nope.
Completely ancillary.
Damn.
She does not care.
Yeah. So apparently one of the stable hand had seen some of these before as well. Apparently they are called Meanlocks. They change based upon as your studies had bared, that they change depending upon your fears. Their nature is changed in that regard. And when they capture someone, they will take them off. Basically, let them relive their fears over and over and over again until they become one of them. And then they have whole hive systems, it sounds like, where they burrow into.
very interesting.
It's a weird planet. Right. Well, I'm going to go take care of... Oh. Sorry, Regan.
Oh, it's too late. She's gone.
She needs her beauty sleep. So,
She's not particularly beautiful.
that's not the point.
Okay.
So mean!
It's kind
He's
of.
very
It's-
matter of fact.
He's very mad. He
Yeah.
does not care about
It's-
tact.
It makes
Yeah.
sense. It makes sense.
Don't be mean to my old ladies.
Yeah.
I love my old ladies.
Madame Rez.
I'm
I need
just
my glasses,
curious
I can't hear
if they can do that to any creature or just to people.
Couldn't tell you for sure. Hopefully we don't have to find out. I know it's not in your nature, but you really don't want to become one of those.
Oh, no, I don't.
We don't want someone else to turn into them either. It means there's more of them.
Why did you think I would want this?
I don't know. I'm still figuring you out. It's fine. I have a few other things, a few other errands I need to take care of. You can see the Robert about lodgings if you're wanting to sleep in there. Sleep at the inn.
Yes, a bed would be nice.
Mhm.
Oh,
Completely
a
forgetting.
bed and a hazing would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with. Yeah, she completely has forgotten the fact at this point that she has set Taruk up for
as you start to walk away, Taruk just says, "I am starving."
Yeah.
But you head in. For you, because you had head in when the parents started fighting.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go.
The group rate, the kind of group discount that Ruby was talking about, is 1 gold or 3 credits per room. So if you're paying in gold, it is obviously cheaper. Regular price is 2 gold or 5 credits, but you guys have a group discount, so.
He will slap down 2 gold and give her a smile.
Are you buying that? Wow, why is she Irish now?
I've infected you.
I gotta be Texan.
Hi.
Wow, I can only do Irish right now.
It's gone. That's all it is. It's all Irish.
That's all it is.
Oops, all Irish.
I've become Irish. I'm so sorry. I'm talking to a specific person. I'm so sorry. You getting rooms for yourself and Lady Fearless, or just being generous?
I can cover them, and I realized I didn't give you guys a tip earlier, and I didn't want to be rude.
Oh, aren't you sweet? This is a big tip, honey. Are you sure?
I got you covered.
Well, she'll like boop you on the nose. Ain't she sweet? Well, you have an excellent night now. She'll wink at you.
Gives you a grin back and heads on.
You head in a little bit after this. What can I help you with, honey?
I was told that Robert could set me up with room for the night and possibly food.
I can handle food. Give me just a second. Make sure there's the room still available. We're a little full up tonight. She comes out with a bowl of stew and a little
Had to get you one more
pan
time.
pie, and that'll cost you a silver. But now let me check with Bob over there and make sure there's rooms available. Hey, Bob! And she'll go and kind of whisper to him for a minute and confer with him. You get into your soup. You get into your food. I'm so sorry, honey. I think we're full up. I ain't got more rooms.
The thing is Taruk has no reason to expect that this is
Bullcrap.
bullshit. So
Now, there's the possibility, and I hate offering this, but if you really do need a roof to sleep under,
Or on top
there
of.
are some spaces out in the stables that we don't actually keep, like the tack room.
Bless her.
If you go talk to Thomas, he can probably sit you up in the tack room. He's got a cot in there that's usually he sleeps there, but there's another pull-out cot that he could probably pull out for you.
is it possible to stay in one of the stalls with a horse?
Oh man.
Given that people pay us for stuff like that not to happen to their horses, no. I'm concerned why you would ask, but
Well, it's because they're interesting creatures.
so you want to sleep in a stall with one where one's gonna probably put its hoof through your skull?
They do that?
If you ain't paying attention, or if you rile it up. You never been around a horse, honey?
No,
Oh, good lord.
not Vomar. No.
Oh, good lord. Roll me an etiquette check, just to see how pitiful you are.
Roll for pity.
18.
Super pitiful.
Let me, you know what? I'm gonna run up and check again. Make sure nobody didn't check out without giving us the key or something. Let me go run up and check. Give me just a few minutes. You enjoy your meal.
She's too good for us.
Roll me an insight check.
Yeah, especially with her, like, damn it, as she left, and my passive perception being what it is. 26.
Oh my
'Cause
god.
my dice are on fucking fire tonight.
Like, this is the good roll table over here. Like, we just.
I've been getting better. I
You
realized
get
I
the
was
feeling that she
rolling
didn't
around
check
dice.
too hard before, and now she feels bad. And
Can
partially
I roll
she
to connect the dots? Like an
Oh, no.
insight or an intelligence something?
regular wisdom check
Wisdom?
to connect those dots.
That wasn't a roll. I want that nat 20, but that wasn't a roll. Okay, that nat 18's good. So, wisdom, 22.
Dropped my candy.
I want candy.
Fell right through my hands. Now I understand how football players feel when everyone in the nation is screaming, "It was in your hands!"
Yep.
Now I understand how they feel. I'm still gonna scream that, but still, now I know. What were you rolling for?
In wisdom.
Wisdom to connect the dots, I got a 22.
You're,
Because I saw them come out of the tavern earlier.
you were being hazed. Not
What?
Hazed.
Not that haze.
Wait, not hazed or hazy, but hey. Okay, got it.
Oh.
You get the feeling, not necessarily that they set you up, because
Right.
people have been in and out of this tavern all night, but that she saw you, recognized something about you, and was like, I'm gonna fuck with this one. And then
Okay.
felt bad about it and went to go check. So,
There goes her tip.
It's okay, she got that.
Okay.
it's whatever, she's paid by the hour. She'll come back down maybe 20 minutes later. You know what? It's the damnedest thing. Someone had checked out and left their key in the door. Don't know who fucking does that, but
That is incredibly fortunate for me.
I'll have to go clean it out. But if you just give me about an hour, I'll have you all set up.
Okay.
Great. She does give you a key, and it does have a little, it has the number inscribed, and it starts with a 3, which means it's on the top floor. So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yep. Go
Um,
up all the stairs with your giant fucking robot.
that's not the concern. Volks can go anywhere.
I'll drain.
I don't do well with inclines. Or anything.
Any physical
Physical
activity.
He's
activity.
asthmatic, okay?
Pretty much by definition.
Yeah.
Pretty much by
You
definition.
could have stopped at he's an ass, and that would be fine.
Also accurate.
Oh,
Asthmatic asshole. Got it. All right.
you go up and settle in for the evening?
Yeah. I'm gonna. If the interior has like. Thank you.
Wow.
She
Thank
fucking
you.
got you.
Interior crocodile.
Alligator.
alligator. Oh.
I think I hit you in the armpit, too.
You did?
Yeah.
If
Almost
the
like right here. I feel the sting still.
you're on fire tonight, Ari.
That's unfortunate.
If the interior, if there's like a good aesthetic appeal to like the interior of this tavern and like the patrons and the hearth and crackling fire, I'll take a snapshot.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm just looking over some of the data from the other random stuff, plants and animals I saw throughout the travel
Okay.
over dinner. Like I have my pad out. I'm one of those people that's on their cell phone while eating. Like
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds about
You get a
right.
little bit of
I
like
get it.
get a little bit of elk stew on your screen.
Yeah,
yeah.
I understand.
And then once I eat, which I said I was starving, but I still like it's an hour for me to eat this bowl of stew.
Wow.
There's a reason he's a twig. All right.
You're kidding, is what you are.
Well, a lot of reasons.
You're
Yeah.
kidding. It's like a bird.
But then yeah, eventually I'll spend a couple charges of my air supply getting up the stairs.
It just occurred to me that Kitty watches this show.
Yep. Yeah, and you just
On,
Yep.
on camera.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
on the internet.
On the internet.
Yes,
It's okay.
Mhm.
She doesn't go by Kitty on the internet.
that's true.
Not connecting those dots.
Nope.
But
Gonna
yes,
talk
I
to my
will.
bestie.
I
You can find her
will.
Twitter right below.
Since
You
I'm
can find
going,
her at.
since I'm going to be resting, I will use the charges of my air supply to get up the stairs instead of just like going really slow. I'll just go at a normal human pace
I see.
and then be slightly exhausted
Cool.
at the
Cool.
top of the stairs.
Good. No one is around to see this, so
Nope.
we
Nope.
don't have to describe what that looks like. But you settle in for the evening. You settle in for the evening. Have you settled in for the evening?
Hayes does his ritual of the evening.
His ritual.
His ritual that his somewhat saddening ritual. Should I describe?
Yes.
Oh,
Please.
As he gets into his room, he kind of looks about the place and sets down his back and kind of
They're
sighs.
nice, well-kept rooms, you know. Simple, but
He appreciates it nonetheless. It's got a bed. He's good with that.
bed and a roof. And a nice window.
That's all I need. Goes and sets his stuff down the bed and kind of goes towards the window and whispers onto the wind, Ayom Ha. And a familiar, somewhat translucent, somewhat kind of random figure appears of another Luantois who has kind of like a pixie cut shaved on one side. Just kind of like sits looking out the window and he just sighs and he says, I'm starting to feel crazy doing this every night, but I miss you so much. I hope wherever the hell you are that you're good, that wherever the hell they are, that they're good. I know where the hell Marcelli is, but I suppose we'll get back to her eventually. I don't even know anymore. Just goes and he just hugs her figure, the silent image of her just kind of going to hug him, and he just cries a little bit. And after about 10 minutes or so, her image fades and he just goes over to his bed and just crawls in, sends off a message to Cammy and says, it's weird not having a tent sometimes, but I hope you have a good evening.
Are you using the sending spell?
Message, which crap is that?
I might be a little bit out of range. I think it's like 100 feet.
100 and change.
120, I think.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm out in the town, so it probably doesn't reach me.
So it would
But-
kind of like be like,
It just kind of, you send it into the, it's the thought that counts.
Mhm.
Into the void.
and he settles down for the evening.
Just about as you're ready to fall asleep, and this is not the first time something like this has happened. But just as you're about to drift off to sleep, you feel on your shoulder just a hand, just like on your arm, just a reassuring squeeze. And like the moment you feel it, you know that it's not an actual person that's there. It's not like someone trying to wake you. It's just this reassuring kind of impression of a sensation. And just, it fades. You drift off to sleep.
For that brief moment, he would tense, but then relax. And, yep, he would start to drift off.
Cam, what do you do with your
I'll just make a couple of quick things. She was gonna go find Lucy real quick and hand her off a couple of more really ornate-looking rocks to
So-
make another bracelet with.
Lucy
Mm-hmm.
is at her home, which is sort of at the edge of town.
Okay.
She is out a little bit past her bedtime. She's out playing. They've got a little garden in the front, and she's digging for worms,
Mhm.
as you know, weird little girls are wont to do.
Yep.
But she'll, as you kind of wander up to their house of the family that adopted her recently,
Mm-hmm.
she kind of looks up and gives you this big grin that's like missing 2 teeth, and she runs out. Kimmy! I found a worm!
Found one?
I found a worm!
Oh, that's a big one.
Look at him!
Yeah. She'll take a second. She will press the sequence of plates, and she'll take off her mask.
Would you like to describe
Sure.
what you look like?
So just since we have a lost episode, I'll give a new description of
Lost
Cammy.
episode.
Oh my. Yeah, so Cammy would pull down her hood, and you would see a set of horns coming out of her forehead, like towards the widow's peak area, that seem to kind of curve towards the back of her head, and then kind of meet each other at kind of a slope, just barely not touching.
Mhm.
She has tied up, or not, she has braided platinum blonde, almost silver hair that she
Not
has.
necessarily the whole thing, since you described it in the trailer, but
Yes.
like when you take off the mask, what does that look like?
Yes, so you would see her eyes first of all, because they're both different, because I have apparently a thing for that with my
You have a
characters.
problem, yes.
I have a problem with heterochromia. Yeah. I
We
do
all
not
know you're
apologize.
heterosexual.
Yes,
It's
we
fine.
do. Okay?
We all
Don't
know.
hate me.
You get it?
Wow.
And he's dead.
Yeah.
And scene.
And scene, that's the end of the campaign. You would see one eye, that would be gold, that her skin seems to be kind of almost like marble, where it's got like these white speckles, like little motes of starlight, all along the outside of her eye is. And then kind of bisecting it, you would see.
Oh, we're bisexual now?
I said bisecting. Get your ears fixed.
Dang.
Wow.
Spicy.
You would see like these gold veins that would be separating the blackened marble skin to like a more of a white marble skin, where it has black flecks instead. And that's where you see like the other eye being cerulean blue. Yes, she has almost kind of a Zuko scar.
Great.
I don't care. Okay, I'm leaning into the skid. And you see her slight bags under her eyes, but she definitely seems very intent on what is going on with Lucy. And she would fold up her hands, and you'd see that one hand has 7 fingers on it, and the other has 6. As she would be like, "Can I see it?" Oh, it's trying to run away. No.
I had a beetle too, but I lost it.
Oh, that's okay. Beetles are a little squirrely, aren't they? Yeah.
I think Big Brother squished him.
It's not very nice of him. It's not very nice of him.
It isn't.
No. You mean go talk to him?
No. He's asleep.
All right. Speaking of which, you should be asleep too.
No, but I knew you were coming today.
I know. Sorry, we got a little bit held up.
Oh.
But I made it worth your while. As she will pull out a variety of new gemstones that she has already probably used like a little tool to poke the holes through.
Mm-hmm.
Here are these. They're all manner of various colors. There's one that's like multi-speckled, and there's like a really dark, like obsidian colored one. There's just all kinds of varieties of stones.
She's very excited.
Yes. Now, I want a very pretty bracelet out of these by the time I get back next time. Yeah. Are your folks still awake, or are they in bed as well?
They're awake.
They're awake?
They let me
Okay.
stay up.
They let you stay up?
I asked.
All right. It's good that you asked.
Then
She
you
can
would say
represent-
trick.
Yeah, okay. Nah, that's good. 11.
She's 9.5.
Yeah, so she's not that good at lying.
She's not that good at lying.
Yeah.
She knows that the last time she stayed up, the last 4 times she stayed up
Mhm.
to see you,
Mm.
you always ask, has she asked? And it's usually no. So
Mhm.
she's
Learn.
jumping ahead of it.
Trying to.
Uh-huh.
She did not ask.
As I look into the house, do I see any lights on?
Yeah, they're at the kitchen table, but it seems like they didn't notice her sneaking out. And as you kind of look in, you can see into on the other side, so you can see into the front window, and there's
Mhm.
the parents at the table
Yeah.
with kind of a lantern. And then her room is sort of off to the side,
Mm.
and you can see on the outside of the house her window is open. I asked.
Right. Well, just to be safe, because it looks like they're having a lovely conversation in there. Maybe we should just go ahead and get you to bed. I'll talk to them another time.
Oi.
Yeah.
Oi. Do you want the worm?
I'll let you keep it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She will take the worm into her room
Yeah.
and deposit
She'll-
it in a jar.
Yeah, I was like, she actually came in, was probably gonna like reach in her pouch and here's a jar for it. Make sure you're hiding from your brother. Have your parents been nice? Been good to you? Okay.
She's absolutely telling the truth.
Okay.
She's not a good liar.
No.
But
So she'll help she'll wrap her up in her arms, she'll try and be as quiet as she can and bring her around to the side of the house and
roll a stealth check.
sure. I have a squirming 9-year-old in my arms, so of course it's gonna be a little loud. That would be 8.
8.
Yeah.
You can kind of see like mom kind of looks through the window and sees you and just nods at you.
I just kind of wink and
Yeah.
I just walk around to the side.
Yeah, they know the drill.
Yeah.
But you deposit her in her room.
Yeah, I give her a big hug before I boost her into her room.
She'll wave at you as you close the window. And
All right. Bye, love. Yeah.
she's very excited.
And she'll walk past the front. She'll wave to the parents and put her and begin to reaffixing the mask to her face.
Okay.
Last thing I'll do, and I'll promise this is the last thing. She'll
All
go.
the things.
She wanted to go talk to Thomas.
Thomas? Okay.
Yeah.
He's, out in front of the
Stables.
Bonfire is still going.
Mhm.
He's just kind of on the ground, sitting watching it, twirling a little bit of hay.
She'll go and
What's up?
lay down on the hay. Find out anything interesting?
No.
Pretty clean.
I mean, the tall one, he's on the roof.
Is he now?
I'm not paid enough to stop him.
No, you're not. You definitely are
I'm
not.
really not.
Um,
I'm paid in tips.
I understand that. Did any of them tip you, or did they all forget?
A couple of them did.
Right. Well, she hands him a couple more silver.
Oh,
Cover up the cost.
half 2, he
Yeah.
says, already tucking it into
Oh, but I insist.
no.
I insist. I promise.
No.
Yeah, tall one's weird like that, but that checks out for him.
I'm not touching that one.
No.
I'm not.
Right. Also, I have her name. Taigi, the head weaver, is that her name?
Taigi. Taigi.
Taigi. Okay. Taigi said something. You ran into some of those mean locks, those weird shadow creatures.
I did, and he'll get up. I did. It was the fucking weirdest thing.
Yeah, we
It
ran.
was the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Well, what happened with you all? Was it just like a couple of them? Was there like?
Well, I was taking one of the mares out for a race.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not supposed to do that. I know I'm not supposed to take him out to race. But
I'm
she
not.
wanted to run. She wanted to run. So we were out
I'm-
running, and she just.
I'm not fucking snitch. I know.
And she trips over something, and she's fine. Thank God, she's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want a horse with a broken leg. You don't want that.
No.
Oh, I love Starlight. Anyway, we're headed down, and she trips on something and tumbles, and then these little crag things all in the bushes, and then we got up and we got out of there. I didn't really get a good look at them, but
Yeah, nasty bit of business with those. We ran into a few of them just yesterday.
oh, go on.
Yeah.
Did you kill him?
Oh yeah. I punched one straight through the earth. So
Good. And he will lay back down
Yeah.
in the hay.
no, just keep an eye out. I'm
Can't do.
yeah. It seems like they're coming in a little closer to town. Maybe some weird's going on.
Somebody is spooked to all hell.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, you heard Taigi.
Hmm.
They're made of fear.
Yeah. No, they are.
Somebody's got enough fear
Yeah.
to make little creatures out of it. It's fucking weird.
That's fucking weird.
Fucking weird.
Yeah. Who? I wonder who made them in the first place.
Oh.
Alright, well, I'm not paid enough to figure. Well, actually, I am paid enough to figure that out. I do okay.
Isn't that exactly what you're paid for?
That is precisely it. You're right. Yeah.
Get on.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go turn in.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, do you see anything else weird? Let me know. But otherwise, I think that this group's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay. I will head back to the inn.
Ruby waves at you.
She'll go like she's gonna go upstairs, and then she'll go over to Ruby.
You want another drink?
Drink upstairs.
Really? Now.
It's been a long day.
Really now.
Really new. Well, she'll look around, make sure none of the rest of the people that are in the caravan. She'll pop the mask off again. Really new.
Well, my shift's about over. And takes your hand and leads you upstairs.
Cool.
That's where we're going to take a break.
Yay! See, aren't you glad you got glasses? I heard that little ting.
Do you? Are we starting with the morning?
At net 6 level?
Not yet.
Okay.
Definitely not yet.
Damn it.
I'm not marking off my point of exhaustion yet.
So,
Which I forgot about the entire time I'm making ability checks.
as you have your evening of fun, Ruby eventually will leave to go back to where she lives. She doesn't stay the night, but she leaves you in the room and doesn't charge you for it, for the
Very
room
kind
or
of her.
anything else.
I didn't think she was a lady tonight, but you know, if she is, I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
You know, but she will leave you in the room, and you kind of start to drift off to sleep. You're awake a little later than the rest of them, and the bonfire has died down, and everyone has gone back into their homes, and you start getting ready to actually go to sleep, and you're kind of near the window when you hear 3 beats of wings, and there's not a crash, but a large as a large metallic body lands on the main road of the town. And you see the dragon that you have spotted several times tuck its wings in and start to slowly walk down the center road, the main road of the town.
She is reaching for her equipment.
Thuzu would wake me up.
Okay, you notice this as well. This dragon is...
Do I wake up to this?
Zelena, help
What's
us.
your passive perception?
20.
What's your passive perception, Hayes?
Put it down.
It's 10 plus whatever your perception would be.
It would be 14.
14. You do not wake up to this. You hear the noise. You just hear a thump, kind of outside, like a.
Right.
It's up to you whether you go look. It woke you up.
Yeah, if it's something loud enough to wake me up, I would at least want to try and see what made the noise.
You see, by the time you get up and peer out the window, you do see the dragon creeping
Recording.
down the center of
Yeah.
town.
I'm getting my bracers
And
on.
she's twitching her head and seems to be. You can hear sounds, what seems to be some kind of language. What languages do you speak?
I don't have any. Let's see, I got Gomoran, Elven, Dwarven, Galactic, Demosian, and Gomoran Sign Language.
So no Draconic.
No Draconic.
You don't understand, but you do. You understand that it is Draconic. You don't understand what she's saying, but she's whispering to herself.
With
Twitching.
Brolish, do I understand some of the words?
No.
I will cast Comprehend Language then.
I have audio enhancers on my hearing, so I have advantage on hearing-based checks, and I'm recording.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get as much of whatever sound is being produced as possible. I know I
Are
don't
you
understand
opening the
it.
window?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's
Yeah,
taking all
that
of my effort and willpower not to actively leave the building to go investigate this because I understand intellectually dragons are scary,
Right.
but also it's a fucking dragon. I want to see it.
She's twitching and shaking her head and speaking, and by the time you get comprehend languages cast, it's kind of gibberish. It's sort of, I don't know where they are. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I can't find them. I can't find them. I can't find them. Where am I? I'm here. I'm always here. I'm here. And she starts looking around and like suddenly realizing where she is and sort of spooks and and just 3 large flaps and is off in the air.
Yeah, I was going to say, Drumless wasn't hiding. They would have been standing on the roof watching down.
She pays you no mind.
Yeah,
But-
Cammy was just kind of at her window, just like.
Anyone who would like to, please make a either Arcana or Medicine check. Besides
Okay.
Hayes, who is asleep.
I'm making a snooze check.
Make your snooze check.
So,
my snooze.
Quick question. I am proficient
rolled
in
in that
Arcana, but it's more like the dark matter magic Arcana. Would this be a different?
That affects the
Thing.
DC. So
Okay,
let me know what
just
you
based off of character
Yeah.
knowledge. I'm gonna go with medicine. My dice rolls are gone. 7.
I stole them back.
14.
Which one?
Medicine.
Medicine. Okay.
23.
Which one?
Medicine.
Medicine.
I
Snooze
rolled a nat one for snoozing.
You are awake, but that kind of awake of like, I'm gonna go back to sleep. And you roll back. You roll back
Yep.
into sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You don't wake up enough to notice things are happening, but you do wake up and you are upset about it. Congratulations, you failed to sleep.
You failed to fall.
I don't know
The
how
one thing
someone
you were
does
doing.
that.
I mean, insomnia? I don't know.
But you two didn't roll quite enough. You said you rolled medicine?
Yeah.
Something in just like the way she's moving,
Mm.
just in the way she's kind of like twitching and shaking her head, it seems like she's in pain. Something is you know how dragons were created out of their elements, at least in the folklore.
Mm-hmm.
Something has shifted her out of balance of her element, and something else has wedged itself into the space where that connection is supposed to be. Something is causing her some pain, and as you kind of looked her over, not only is her behavior tipping you off to this, but a lot of the time middle dragons have some kind of tarnish or other colors on their scales, but it's usually just like a natural, can be buffed away. She had in the crevices of her scales this sort of like black and purple residue that it looked like she'd been trying to rub off in some way or get cleaned off in some way, but couldn't. But something is off with this dragon. And she flaps her wings a couple of times and is out of the town.
Would it have been possible for either Thuzu or myself to touch her as she's leaving?
She's way too far.
Like, as she was muttering through the town, would it have been
So-
possible for pretty much just to get over her, Thuzu to get over her before she took off?
You were on the roof of the tavern, which is a ways off from where she was. By the time you would have gotten down to street level was about the amount of time that she was on the street.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have had time.
So
to
even
get
with Thuzu flying over there just to get over top of her, because there was something I wanted to try while she was muttering. Fly speed of 20.
Roll me just I don't fucking know, initiative check for Thuzu.
That's a natural 1.
No.
No, just by the time you get over there, by the time you think to try it, she's already, you send Thuzu out, and she's flown away.
Okay.
There was quite a bit of distance between them,
Mm-hmm.
so it was maybe like 200 feet.
Oh yeah,
So-
there's no way he would
Yeah.
have made it there.
So,
Okay.
but
Did you actually go down to the street?
No.
Okay. Yeah, Cammy will just kind of physically relax and open up one of the windows and just light up a cigarette and just kind of just be puffing smoke out, make sure it doesn't stay in the room, and just think for a little bit on what's going on.
cool.
And eventually go to bed.
You all mark off a night's rest.
Yay.
A long rest. Congratulations.
It's a little difficult for Taru to get back to sleep after that because of the excitement, but
Because dragons.
Fucking dragon. Motherfucking dragons.
We're not even playing Dungeons and Dragons. We're playing spaceships and Star Wars, but you got a
We
fucking
got a
dragon.
dragon!
You got a dragon.
There's always
guys.
a dragon!
You didn't even touch it.
Nope.
Drag kick.
Yep.
There was an attempt.
Yeah, an attempt was made.
Yep.
But you wake up the next morning. There is some murmuring among the townsfolk that some did see the dragon, and those who didn't were fucking pissed that they missed it.
Mm-hmm.
But Hayes, as you come down, the common room is all a titter, all a flutter. Everyone's talking about some exciting news, and you have no idea what the fuck it is.
Dragon?
Just like that Gandalf meme. Dragons?
Dragons?
Where?
But the caravan has to leave the town by about 10 a.m. ish for you to make it to your next potential campsite. But you have some time to grab some things before you head out to resupply if you so choose, or you can just head out. Anything anyone wants to do with their morning?
I'll probably get like some herbal remedies ready for I'll probably try and see if I can start concocting something for paralysis. In
Okay.
case we run into more of those
Out
meatballs.
of the stuff that you have.
Yeah,
Go ahead and roll a medicine check.
sure.
Makes poison worse.
Medicine check 13.
13.
Yeah.
You don't have anything finished now, but you start to put together I wouldn't call it a potion because you're not enchanting it with anything.
No.
But
poultice.
yeah, a tincture of some sort.
Okay.
A tea, perhaps.
Mhm.
But you start to put together at least like, here's a list of different herbs that I have. Here are ones that cannot go together. Like you start to do at least these are the ones that I can't make because they'll kill people. Here are my options for different things that we can use. So
Probably make a bigger one for that one just in case, because his physiology is bigger and probably requires a little bit more to hit in order to be effective. But also,
I will say you do know to create one. You kind of outlined the possibility of doing so. To create one potion that would allow you to do such a thing as prevent people from being paralyzed. Probably cost about 80 gold worth of materials per potion. 80 gold worth of materials and like an hour of crafting time.
At
I'm
80
pulling
per-
this out of my ass.
yeah, 80 per vial,
Tincture.
basically.
Per vial, yeah.
Okay.
Which can be, I'll say you'll do a medicine check each time or survival check each time you try to put one together to see if you have the herbs
Yeah.
or whether or not you need to buy certain materials.
Yeah, so I'll probably
Or
I'll
have
try and at least get like
purchased.
one out of the way, and then we'll as
I'll
materials become available.
I will say, with that roll, you didn't manage to get one this morning.
No.
You're just putting together like your list of like these are the ones that could potentially could
Proof
work.
of concept.
Yeah.
Your proof of concept. You could probably spend some time before you rest. You know, when you have a moment to yourself, you could probably with that then roll another medicine check to try to make one.
Super. Okay.
You have lowered the DC. Congratulations.
Yay.
But
I'm trying to find Cammy and Hayes specifically.
not promise.
Well, no.
Well,
I promise.
Well, Hayes is going to be much more of a hype man,
He's a hype man.
and Cammy is the most likely to actually know about the dragon.
Okay.
So, like, that's my priority.
Mhm.
I'm going for those two.
Do you come down for breakfast, or are you staying on the roof?
It's your roof now.
Yeah.
You've claimed it as your own.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is his timeshare now.
You've
No one else
marked
lives
it.
up there,
You've
as far
marked
as you
it.
know.
No one else is using it. It's mine now.
There were some pigeon friends this morning.
Yeah.
Were.
Just because I have a bite attack doesn't mean I eat
No,
breakfast.
Thuzer's not hungry anymore.
They're not your friends anymore. That's what it is.
Is there a way to get down easily? Like, is there something I can tie a rope off to that won't bend?
Yeah, I mean, there's like there are some features of the roof that you could probably tie a rope off to. Like, sure, you
And
can
we'll-
rappel down.
Yeah, I'll rappel down.
Great.
And then I'll have Thuzu untie it from up top and I'll just...
Roll an athletics check just to see how cool you are.
Yeah.
I'm not aiming for cool, I'm just aiming for not death. Because that's good. That's a 7.
Oh, good.
It's a 7.
Good.
I'm not trying to be graceful.
Well, you get most of the way down, and as you're rappelling down,
Is your rope too short?
you hear a young man. How you doing up there? And it startles you enough. The last like 10 feet or so, you do lose your grip on the rope and take 5 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Do I see like just a something
Nah.
just fall out? Okay.
It's
fine.
like at the back.
Okay.
You do see a dwarven lady kind of looking through the window as you've like thumped to the ground from the kitchen, just kind of raise an eyebrow at you.
I wave.
Tom just waves her away. But
I don't.
Hi, Tom.
just looking down at you from where you've fallen on the ground.
Rope falls. It's him.
Thank you for my new scarf. Thank you. This is lovely. Throws it on top of you. Did you have a nice night on the roof?
Yes, actually, I did.
Great. Great.
You should try it sometime.
Had some pigeons.
I don't think I will. I can't fly.
Neither can I.
I can see that.
Touche.
Well,
How's everyone doing?
I'm hungry. I'm getting breakfast. And he just walks away from you. But
Yeah, that tech got a fish. He was just laying there.
yeah, great. That sounds about right.
Mhm.
Tall, intimidating, Bravash man with fucking blood orb eyes just like laying on the ground like a depressed child.
Oh,
This is
it
my
started
life.
that way, but as the conversation got going, he just went into a more comfortable pose. And just
Lying on the ground. Just,
Excellent.
You're bravash.
Come get
Surfer
breakfast.
dude.
okay.
Yeah.
And he'll follow
Cool.
Thomas and rolling up the rope and putting it back in his bag.
Y'all get your breakfast for you.
Mhm.
It's porridge. It's nothing, to write home about, but
Yeah. I sneak a couple of like sweet herbs into the.
oh, it's good.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, it's porridge.
simple. But
I know she's spoiled.
I
She knows how to cook, so she's
I
gonna
understand.
just sneak them in there before anyone sees.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to,
I don't want to insult the cook. I
you
just
don't
want to make it
wanna
better.
insult
That's all.
the lame.
Yeah. Well, it's
She's
great.
sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But
Taruk is ranting about this dragon. Like, asking questions, bringing up details, but not giving a millisecond for you to actually respond to any of it. Just like full speed talking.
This is why.
know things about the dragon. I so many people were talking about it. I guess I was sleeping the whole time.
It was so interesting. It was so interesting.
Trying to concentrate right now. Trying to get these tonics.
Yeah. Did you see it though? Oh my god.
No one knew.
It took everything.
Yes,
I had,
exactly.
It took everything I
You
had done to
walk
go
up to
outside
this
to talk to this
conversation.
dragon, but I figured it was probably not going to be so happy about me.
Thomas!
Oh, hi. Did you see the dragon last night?
No.
Man, both of you. It's a shame. It was a very, very.
It's true. I
It
didn't
was
see
very
the
good.
dragon.
Where were you?
that's fair.
Where were you? You're
was very-
outside? Is there another inn here?
No, that's right.
As you see, like Cammy's like trying to very quietly just like put a little bit of this solution into the mixture, Taruk is like exclaiming like about it feels so cool.
Like
This one was
here,
on, he was on the roof.
I recorded the whole thing. And I'll pull out the little data pad and like, show you the recording of the dragons.
Yeah, I saw that.
You just you didn't.
Eventually, she just gives up and just packs it away.
He'll snap his fingers
Yeah.
and Thuzu will appear. Thuzu's are. I can see Thuzu's.
So you saw.
No, Thuzu's are the dragon.
But you saw the dragon.
I saw
Through
it.
them.
Yes.
So you saw the dragon.
No.
Do you understand the transit of property?
As you two are like having this conversation, Hayes just like grabs Thuzu and like pets him a little bit.
I recorded the audio of what she was saying as well. I don't speak whatever language that is.
I will repeat exactly what she was saying last
Yeah.
night
Yeah.
before you even play it. I heard
That
the
confirm. That confirms my theory. Then, I think she's sick.
This
The dragon.
coloration isn't normal?
No, it shows an imbalance in her. Remember the story from last night the Weavers were telling?
No, I don't speak whatever
So-
language that was.
Yeah, that's all. Regardless, the long and short of it is that the dragons were they were created by one of the gods, and in order to basically balance the elements. And as a result, each dragon is relegated to a certain element, and if they begin to take on powers from a different element, or something is affecting their balance within that element, can cause them to be unwell. Everything I saw from her is that she's not right. Something is, if what he says is true, then she's...
Who is he?
Oh, sorry, you. My apologies.
Okay.
That's right. What are your pronouns?
Me.
Fair.
Bravash, before their third stage, don't have pronouns. So.
Those are my pronouns now.
Me.
Me.
That's so gendered.
You heard what me said.
Yeah. Me said.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm putting that on my name tag.
Did not know that. I did not get the chance to meet a lot of Bravash, so my apologies. But what they were saying was that if that's the case, then something very bad could happen. I don't know what, though.
I would like to suggest, perhaps if I could interact with the dragon, I could do some scans and determine what is causing this ailment.
If we can pull it off, maybe, and if we're all a very reasonable distance away from your scans, because
I mean,
an unhinged
scanners require access,
I
physical
know.
access.
No, you would be closer. We would be far away. Here's the thing: is that dragons are, and I don't want to see what. Here, the colored dragons, who are usually like blue, white, black, and red, they tend to be a little bit more on the chaotic side. They tend to be a little bit more aggressive towards the rest of us folk.
Given that they are more pure in their element.
Yes.
They embody
I
elements
would
more.
be terrified to see what these metallic dragons would be like if they are unhinged and unwell, and similar to these other dragons. We have no idea what her response might be to us.
Perhaps
if-
Volks could get a sample.
I mean, folks can certainly try.
I mean, I
The
would
DM
ask.
and you just jumped out.
I would ask, obviously, but I would
I don't.
stay a good distance away with the rest of you and have Volks go retrieve the actual sample.
For now, our best bet is to try and keep away from it and hope that if it does come near us, that it is wanting help and is not wanting to just eat us.
I mean, yes. To all of that, I don't.
Speaking of which, it's
I'm
nearly,
so torn.
Yeah,
I
you
really-
will be, especially after you talk to one, I promise you.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't look really torn.
Emotionally torn.
Yeah, it is.
I'm at odds with myself. I really want to see this dragon in person. But also we have a direction we're going, and we should not necessarily put that on pause for some extreme curiosity.
Now you're catching on. But if
we happen to see the dragon,
if it happens to come our way, and if it happens to be amenable, and if we happen to not get burned by fire as a result of it coming down from the sky, then maybe we'll see what we can do about it. Maybe
This was a silver dragon, right?
It was
brass.
brass or bronze.
Okay, I can't remember.
I can't remember. We had this conversation, but I couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah, I can probably check on
I
Discord.
said one or the other, but
Yeah.
I'll put bronze for now.
bee dragon.
Bee dragon.
It's one bitch
Right.
of a dragon.
Well, speaking of which, we should probably start packing up and be ready to move out in probably about another half an hour or so.
Yeah, because it is bronze. We have a similar color.
well, God, it's been so nice to talk to them.
Mm-hmm. So you really didn't catch any of that? It like dropped like a stone in the middle of the square.
So
It was very loud.
I guess I was just sleeping like a stone, or a rock, or a log. Yes. I was very tired.
Well, it was a long day, and then you did show me your tantrum hole, so I'm sure that was a lot to. That was a lot to display.
Is that what we're calling it?
I think so for now. Till we find a better use for it.
Wait, so
It's good for interrogations, screaming, hiding things, holding things. Just doesn't hold air for very long.
Right then.
Well, here's the list of questions I
for that.
have.
Wow, there's like 40 of these. All right.
You said something about a lot on the last one, so I turned it down a bit.
I appreciate that. I appreciate your restraint. As she looks at this 40 question questionnaire.
I thought you were taking 40 pages.
Would
How many pages?
I restrained myself.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's double-sided. How about that?
Another 40 questions.
Oh, God.
Would anyone strange question? I realize I've never asked you either, but would anyone like to spar at some point?
No.
No.
Understandable.
It would be interesting to test the capabilities of Volks against you, though.
I've never fought a metal beetle.
Well, you
But I
could.
suppose- I don't know.
Have you fought a regular beetle?
Yeah, actually, that's what Cammy asked. So, have you fought a regular beetle?
With my shoe, it crunched quite easily.
Huh.
This one's a bit more
It's gonna crunch a little harder if you're actually able to do it.
terrifying.
If you do wish to spa, I can help.
That sounds good.
Sure, I could probably give you a round.
Oh.
Not that kind of round.
Well,
Keep it in your pants.
Maybe perhaps so that one person is not going 3 rounds in a row, one against the beetle, one against the bravash, and one against these.
Against.
Is this happening this morning or is this hypothetical?
This is just the conversation about it.
Okay.
Perhaps maybe we do 2 sets of 2.
I don't know if you complimented me or not, but
Well, I don't. You cover up a lot. I don't know what you are.
that's fair.
It's hard to tell. Then we could. Plus, it gives us the benefit of seeing what each other are capable of in the fight.
That is
So that if we get jumped again by something, maybe a dragon, or something less interesting, then perhaps we'll know what our
Yeah.
capabilities are.
Please, no need to contain your excitement.
It was a dragon.
She just shakes her head and she's like, "Do we want to do this morning, or do you want to do this another? We can do this at some point when we get to the next camp."
we could do that as well.
You are getting close on time for when you need to leave.
Yeah.
Yes, perhaps this evening.
Yeah.
Perhaps if we get like a short pause during the day, we could do it then.
Do a quick break.
Perhaps
Sure.
I would like to before the next camp in case something attacks us at night again.
Indeed.
All right.
Is there anything else anyone wants to do in the town before you head out? Or-
Probably just talk with Amber.
Okay.
See how they're progressing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You kind of, as they're, getting their cart ready, attacking with the horse and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's kind of getting in a line to get back out of the town. Lila keeps packing the cart, and yes, I haven't made much progress. It's more sort of cerebral work, mostly working on. I'm very used to Vomaran magic. I'm not used to. Pardon, but whatever the fuck is going on with you?
Well, condense it down to space.
I have some theories. I will have to engrave them upon a set of test rings, and I'll have you test those out. Probably not until tomorrow morning. I'll be working on them as we go. I was going to make more progress yesterday, and then we were sort of exhausted.
Yes. Yeah. I understand. I'm just curious.
Yes, I have some progress.
Of course.
It's a little hard to do on the cart while we're moving, but we'll find out next time. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Unless you want to try them again. We can try them again if you want, but...
I can wait.
Okay. Right.
Just let me know when you
It
start.
did kind of hurt you last time, I think, when you
The
did
second
that
time.
thing. Yeah.
He likes the pain.
Are you there? Yeah, fucking right you weren't.
No, I'm not. Cody is there.
Table it, and we'll come back. Yep?
Yes.
Great.
But let me know when you start. I might be able to assist a little bit.
Of course. Yes. 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 We'll get going, and then
Yes.
I'll call you over if you're busy. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
This is an excellent opportunity.
I'm curious to see what happens myself.
As am I. But she'll continue to pack stuff up, and you guys,
Yeah.
if no one's got anything else.
I'm gonna go talk to Ruby one last time.
Okay.
Just kind of. Is she working this morning?
She's not working in the morning, but you know that she stays at the inn. Like that's just where she lives, just on the third floor.
Yeah.
But you can go.
Yeah, I'll go knock on her door.
She's got a little balcony.
Yeah.
Well, hey, sugar. How you
Hey,
doing?
hey there, love.
She kind of leans in the door.
Yeah. Heading out. Sorry it took me so long to finally come around to that last night. I think it was just a lot
Well,
of
everyone's
things.
got their own pace.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I was just curious, since you seem to know everybody and everybody knows you.
Of course.
Was there was a friend I had in Odiev, or I guess an acquaintance more like.
Mm-hmm.
One of those wire-born folk had like red metallic hair and like kind of a like half their body had made out of machine and whatnot.
Unique.
It goes by the name of Rufus.
Mm.
You don't know by chance that he ran through town, did he?
Well, I heard of Rufus, but I ain't seen him.
All right. Well, if you see him again,
You'll be the first person I tell, sweetheart.
appreciate it.
See you around?
I'll try not to be a stranger.
You better not. You let me know if you need to, set up what we set up. If there's trouble.
I think that this lot is on the up and up, and I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I'll let you contact our friends if I find anything strange.
You better not take the up road.
No, I think I'm going to
I
take
hear
the safe
there's
route.
some activity up there.
Oh yeah, what kind?
Oh, just the usual. They're getting antsy.
Yeah.
They ain't
Lions,
having any-
tigers, and bears.
They get antsy up there, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't want you to get jumped,
No, I mean I know the passphrase to get past, so
Of course.
pass notes, I guess. Right. Well, you be safe. Let me know if anything happens.
Always sugar.
Did you see the dragon last night?
I did.
That was weird.
Something's wrong with that.
Yeah,
guy.
It's a little uncultured.
I ain't sure about it.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you be safe.
Likewise. She'll give her like a take off the mask for a second, give her a pet on the cheek and back on.
So wave and then
Mm-hmm.
go back to her morning. But
What are you doing with yourself, Cammy? And she'll go down the stairs and go towards the caravan.
excellent. You all head out?
Yeah.
You all head out? So you get going. You don't have to go too fast. You do get going a little earlier than you have to, so you take your time.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 hours in,
Mm-hmm.
you reach a crossroads.
Yeah.
Less of a crossroads, more of a fork in the road. One going up the hill
Mm-hmm.
and one going down.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is the safer of the two.
Mm-hmm.
One of them seems to be the safer of the two, and is not.
Mm-hmm. You know.
where you're going.
Yeah.
Do you go the high road or the low road?
I would probably lead us towards the low road.
Okay.
Yeah. Barring anything weird going on with the low road, that's probably where I would take us.
Cool. You
I
head?
asked to go the high road just because it's better vantage points for my purposes. But upon being told that it's safer to go on the low road, would probably.
I know our agreement that we came to last night. I'm going to insist upon us taking this road. Can't tell you why just yet, but for now, I'm going to say that this is definitely the safer route to go.
Alright,
Yeah.
it's just better for vantage points.
I'll try and get you some good vantages. There's plenty along this route. There's not that one.
You've got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, but
It doesn't take too much away from the 2 weeks, does it? Or is
No.
it's all
This
good?
is generally the faster route as well.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
there's just different dangers.
Yeah, exactly.
But you head down that road, and about an hour in, you start to approach the real Black Hollow Pass.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Hollow Pass, as you know it, is not entirely above ground.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, for most of its history, it has been an extension of the dwarves of Kylomar, so it has been mostly underground with escapes and towns above, places to escape for those who are not subterranean races who have what is known as stone fatigue, being underground for too long. But the Black Hollow Pass is, of course, no longer mostly subterranean, being
Mm-hmm.
certain caverns have been taken over by strange creatures or have collapsed or etc. But this section of the pass is as safe as they come, and you approach this large kind of sloped entrance to a tunnel that is about, it's 20, 30 feet wide, 20 feet tall. It's big. It's a big cavernous tunnel. And you enter below.
Yeah.
Hayes, Thromless,
Mm-hmm.
you two enter underground with the rest of the caravan, and maybe 20, 30 minutes in, both of you feel this, as if something in your body had been replaced with a string on a guitar and it's been plucked. There's a certain thrum that goes through the both of you. You have no idea what the fuck that is.
I
But you
immediately
just-
cast resistance.
Hmm?
I'll keep casting resistance on myself.
Okay.
I'll
It
look
doesn't cause any damage. It doesn't cause anything more than a momentary discomfort, but each of you feels a certain kind of unease.
Hayes, you're right over there, kind of staring off into the distance.
Something feels wrong.
Can we give you a checkup? Or does it hurt?
This place feels normal to you.
Why wouldn't it? It's a tunnel.
I would like to use insight on the tunnel.
You may not.
It's a hole.
You and the relationship with the tunnel's a little rocky.
Perhaps perhaps a little secret. Secret.
I support this shot.
Dude.
Taruk has
What's wrong with you people?
since there's not really much to pay attention to since we're just in a tunnel. Like I'm checking for like small little growths or whatnot,
Okay.
and like occasionally we'll take a rock sample, but like I'm assuming it's pretty consistent, the same type of like stone.
There's quite a bit of variation. It looks like the bottom part of it and like it looks like it was a natural cavern that was expanded and flattened on the bottom and
Right.
given nice wide sides. But the top of it seems natural and things are growing in the cavern itself, and there are fissures where it branches off into other caverns or other man-made tunnels, etc. So there is a bit of variation, and it winds a little bit, and then there are a couple of tunnels that seem to cut through, like crossroads. And it looks like this is part of a large network.
Okay.
And even like sometimes you will glance down one of those tunnels and it's an outlet, and you can see like sunlight, and as you
Right.
go, it's
Okay, I'll occasionally be taking some samples here and there, but I've set up on one of the carts just like an easel,
okay.
and I cast dancing lights, which
Whose cart are you on?
anywhere that's their space. I'm kind of under the assumption that there's at least a general. Okay, I guess I should ask. Is there, as part of the caravan being run in general, is there like a caravan cart, or is it everyone brought their own carts?
Pretty much everyone who is going to travel with more than just what they can carry on their back brought a cart
Okay.
for themselves. So the Songbird Circle, the entertainers that are coming with you, they're probably the cart that has the most room, because.
But would there be one that the caravan would have for the travelers who don't have a cart?
No.
Okay, so they didn't provide. Basically, there's no lodging for those who didn't bring their own cart.
Yeah.
Nope.
The idea of the caravan is less, we're going to provide you with
Right.
a cart and a place to stay. It's, we're all pitching in for this guide who's going to keep us from getting killed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what that's about.
Okay. Then I do that on the back of Volks.
Great.
And I have Volks hovering, because hovering there's not going to be any like bumping from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a hover with a slight drift forward as I'm walking.
Okay.
But I cast dancing lights to give myself good lighting for the painting. And it's like little motes of light drift from my tentacles
Fantastic.
and then surround me. And then every once in a while, like if I see an interesting plant or some vein of rock that I didn't notice in my periphery, I'll just run over and grab a quick sample and put it in the thing and then go back to... And I'm painting the dragon.
Okay, there you go.
Mhm.
For some reason, I was like, "Are you like an Instagram model here for a second?" What's happening?
I'm painting the
An HR
dragon.
model.
I
HR
would
brand.
like you to roll a. Why did they get rid of sleight of hand?
Well,
Why
I
did you do that?
have expertise with painter's supplies.
Right, then roll for that.
Dex with expertise.
Yes.
Okay.
Dexpertise.
Dexpertise.
Gingerbread.
Actually, because you're trying to. No, you have the recording. Never mind.
I have
was going to
picture.
say because you were trying to recall details, but. It is not
So +7.
I stole it. I'll steal it from you.
Why? 9.
9.
You knew it wouldn't last for long.
I blame you.
Yeah, that's fair.
We just shouldn't have gone to break. If we
Nope.
never went to break, my luck would be better.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks to suck, I guess.
Yeah, get good, scrub.
No, you.
I keep getting too distracted.
Yeah, it feels rather cartoonish. You don't feel satisfied with it. You don't look at it and go, "This is great," and it's actually garbage. You just don't feel satisfied with it, and so you keep like redrawing certain aspects of it because you're trying to capture that like momentous
Yeah.
feeling of seeing it in person.
Mhm.
I
It's
can't
just
settle on a
not-
style.
Yeah,
That's what it is. It's like parts of it I want to do in one style to give kind of this feeling, this vibe, but then I'm trying to get too realistic over here, and it's
exactly.
like Eventually, I literally just light it on fire and throw it off to the side.
Wow.
It's like, it's fucking...
Just littering.
Yes.
Take only pictures,
I'll
leave
go-
only footprints.
I'll go back and get it, but like it's out of frustration. Like I literally just using my produce flame cantrip, which is like a little section of the finger. Just I just light it on fire and just throw it off to the side. And just,
Careful where you throw that.
it's over on stone. It's fine.
She's a patch of moss. It's burning.
I go over, I put it out, I stamp it out, I collect it.
Okay.
Can I go over to it and just see what he'd done so far before he grabs it, or before they grab it?
By the time you notice that it's on fire, there's no more dragon left.
I cannot figure out how I want to portray this dragon to evoke the same sense of wonder and power that it emanated.
Right.
As you head further into the tunnel and the daylight leaves you and other artificial lights take its place, that is where we're going to end tonight's game. As you move forward into the next leg of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, you survived so far. We'll see how long that lasts.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. Thank you all for sticking with us through technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We will have another episode for you in 2 weeks.
Yep. This is just episode 1, part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
It begins again.
Again. We playing. I thought.
Good plan.
Yep, good plan.
Best laid plans of mice and lesbians. Always go awry.
That's the name of the episode.
Mice.
Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. We love you.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.
And we're fucking done,
And
guys.
we're fucking out.